Hey there, fellow travelers. Jocelyn is picking things out of my ear, apparently, to start off our live feed.
It was a
Just
piece of fuzz.
It
Leave
was a
it
piece
alone.
of fuzz. There you go. Of course. So, how are you all doing? I hope we're up online. If we are chatting away, please do let us know in the comments because we like to know that we're flowing through and not just talking to ourselves out loud. But hey there, fellow travelers. I'm Mark
I'm Jocelyn.
with Wolters World. We're glad you're all here, and it is March 21st, 2020, an interesting time to be alive for sure. We're in the state of Illinois, which has just went on lockdown, so we can go to the grocery store and the
It's
pharmacy and walk our
not
dog.
lockdown. That is a
That's not
different
lockdown.
word.
Oh, shelter in place.
Shelter in place.
So basically, what we have is we can go to the grocery store and the pharmacy and the doctor's office and walk our dogs, but nothing else can really go on. So we're here and we're doing these live feeds every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. in Chicago time, and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So if you can't stay on long, we have those to come and jump on. We're going to be doing that probably through the end of April, just to give people a way to have some community and have some chit chat, some socialization in this time when it's a little bit harder to be social. We're practicing social distancing.
Good morning.
So, Eric Svart and Ronnie, good morning, everybody. Algo, Fat and Funny, good to see you on here. Tanya Fee. Um, Tanya T. Sorry, Tanya. No, we have not been tested. We have not shown any signs. We have not been traveling for over a month. So, we have not been tested because people that need to get tested, we want to make sure they're getting there. We're not going to hold up the healthcare system when we don't have any signs yet. So, there is that. Sean O'Malley, how's your weight loss journey going? Good, good. I put out a video yesterday about my 50 pounds in the last year I've lost because I felt there was just way too much negativity out there. So we're trying to stay positive. So we put out a positive video yesterday about the weight loss. We put out a positive video this morning that people had sent us some really great things of people showing support and saying thank you in Strasbourg and Delft in the Netherlands and Strasbourg in France. And so if you have videos of great things, send it to us so we can put it out there to show more people. But we're just really happy people are here. Whether you're in West Texas, stuck
Good
in a
morning,
motel, whether you're, hey Mark, whether you're in London or the Netherlands and Gouda, getting some good cheese and all kinds of great stuff in the Virgin Islands, we just want to say thank you to everybody and really appreciate you being here and spending your Saturday morning with us. And so we're going to try to answer travel questions, talk about normal stuff. Hey, Chris in Ukraine, and do some things, and not just be focused on the effects of the coronavirus and things like that. But if you do need information, if you don't know yet, go to the cdc.gov. If you're out traveling and you're stuck, which probably will happen these days, travel.state.gov can give you ideas if you're abroad. If you're within, you need to check with that state's sites. So there is that.
Brian's up and has tea with caffeine.
Hey, so just a little help to stay up. I understand you. Hey, Rob from Trick Hacks DC. Trip Hacks DC. So Rob and I with Ben from the Travel Man Podcast did a podcast last night. If you want to check it out on Travel Man Podcast on his YouTube channel, he's also got a podcast channel you can go to. And we talk about, is this the end of travel? Got to be really clickbaity and stuff like that. But, we talk about some serious stuff and the real ramifications to the airlines, the people, the industry, and stuff like that. So you can check out that feed there. So we'll put up a link in here below when I get a chance to put that up. So, Wandering Ravens, love you both. We're stuck in France. Well, there's worse place to be stuck than France. But I do understand, especially when the borders are closed all over the place. We have a lot of people that have written us from Poland and France and Spain saying, "Hey, we're locked down. What do we do?" And you're basically you're staying where you're going to be staying. I mean, there's a couple that have a new YouTube channel, and they're in Cuenca, Ecuador, and they're on their 14-day self-quarantine in Cuenca, Ecuador, which is a beautiful town. But they're like, it looks beautiful from the window,
but we can't
visit. So they actually have to have people. I mean, think about it. They just got there, so they have to have people get them food and bring it to their apartment. So we have that. So there is that. So it is interesting. Jordan Tomich, love your videos. Stationed in Germany. Thank you for your service. And this last night, it's legal to gather in groups of more than 5 people. Yeah. So you get to watch this in small groups. So we have 2. So we hope we don't get you over the 5-person limit there. Hey, Mark Robinson. Hey, Shelly. Good to see you up on there.
Ryan, hey, I will watch that Puff Daddy video for you. I just haven't done it yet. Sorry.
Hey, Sami Moi Moi Sami in Finland. Let's see. Jer's hibernating in San Diego. Yeah, another tough place to be when you're stuck inside. But it's a beautiful place there, and we'll all get through.
I do want to talk about today, like some coping mechanisms for this. if y'all don't know, I was on bed rest for 4 months when I was pregnant with Liam, and we were living in Portugal. I had about 3 girlfriends, 2 of which had moved right about the time that I got pregnant. So I spent 3 months in our apartment, which was incredibly small, and then another month in a Portuguese hospital. I didn't really have many visitors. A couple of our friends would stop by here and there.
I came.
Mark came to, well, at the hospital, you and Caleb and Vera and David Martin came to visit me one day.
And Doctor Who.
And Doctor Who, our pastor, he came to visit us, to visit me. But in those 4 months, I probably saw 12 people. And at that, it was pretty limited. And 2 of those people were my family members. But I know what it's like to be stuck in a place and not be able to go out. So I want to kind of address that and how you can do this without going completely crazy, because it's hard to fight the blues when you're stuck and you can't go anywhere and you don't have as much stuff to entertain you. That said, I had no internet the entire time I was in the hospital, and that was difficult. Thank God we're all doing this in this day and age, because it makes being social a little bit easier. Anyway, so I want to start with saying every morning, get up. You don't have to set an alarm, or maybe you do set an alarm and just set it for a little later, because you know what? We're all here. We might as well get a little extra sleep. But get up every morning, make your bed, take a shower, get dressed.
We bathed.
We did.
And it's a Saturday too.
I even put jewelry and makeup on. So doing normal things like that is an important thing. It just keeps you moving. It makes a day more routine. When I was on bed rest, I wasn't even allowed to shower. I got to take 1 shower a week, which was difficult. And at that, most of the time I had to take a bath. I wasn't even allowed to stand up long enough to shower. So it was helpful for me just to get up in the morning, brush my teeth. I put normal clothes on, and I went from my bed to the sofa, and that was my big move for the day. Creating your own routine is really important. There's always reading. If you have hobbies like knitting or sewing or things like that, and if you're stuck in your house, you've got a lot of things probably that you've been putting off because you've been too dang busy to do it. I feel like God is telling us all to slow down in this moment and appreciate the things that we have and the people that are in our lives. If you are alone and you're staying home, it gets harder, but fortunately we have the internet and social media. Although, I don't know, I've been having a hard time with some Facebook stuff lately. There are a lot of people getting really nasty and ugly. So when that happens, I just snooze it. I snooze the person, I leave the group, because, any negativity in this instance is really going to weigh on you more because you can't get out. You can't necessarily voice your concerns. There's no reason of having a fit and getting in a fight with somebody who's online. It's better just to take a step back from those things.
You just keep talking.
Okay. So doing the normal stuff is an important thing. Going to bed at a normal hour is also important. This isn't the same as having like a normal vacation. You still got to do things, but through all of that, please don't panic. I keep saying this. This is my mantra: be prudent, but don't panic. I'm going to get that put on a t-shirt or something, because truly, when you panic, you're only raising your own anxiety and everything else, and it just makes everything worse. So exercise is another big thing. Get yourself moving. Even while we're in this shelter-in-place thing, we're still allowed to go outside. We can walk our dog. It's not like in Italy, our friends, they can only go a meter away from the house, which for Americans who don't know the metric system, that's about 4 feet. So they can walk into their garden and be within 4 feet of their house, and that's just about it. At least that's what we're getting from our friends. So exercise is important. Do some yoga. Do some body weight stuff if you don't have, normal barbells and dumbbells and things like that. There's other things to do, and there's a lot out there on YouTube. There's some great Instagram people there's one guy I'm following. His name is Nick something. Shoot, I'll figure it out in a minute.
She'll remember after we get offline.
I will. Anyway, he does just a bunch of quick exercise things that he's doing in his park. It's not something you have to do in a gym, and getting that blood flowing is a huge thing. It makes your endorphins go when you're working out, and that's important. So that's what I have to say about that. Please get moving, continue to have a normal daily physical thing every day, and that'll help a lot. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So I'm going to scroll back up because we've had a lot of questions and stuff like that. So we're going to kind of go through and find some stuff. A lot of people are talking about what they're up to right now, being home and stuff like that. So it is true. Fortune Coffee does point out they're watching our do's and don'ts of London, and they're going for 2 weeks in June. I know airlines say don't call unless you're traveling within 72 hours. If you're going in June, I would wait off. I wouldn't book any more accommodation or anything like that. I would, like, for the airlines, you got to wait because they're so slammed, and there's still people trying to get back home, and there's people that can't get back home because Denmark, the borders are closed. So there's no flights. There's no nothing. And some places they have closed borders, but sometimes there are flights. So it really depends what's going on. So you do have that. So do be okay. So I'm gonna put the link because Rob from Trip Hacks DC helped out and put the link in for the podcast we did. If you want to check it out, I just posted that there. So all the people like in Budapest, just saying hi. Home Smart Mortgage Corp. Just have to plan when to start buying future vacation tickets. Are you planning already? Well, here's the thing: is usually we buy our tickets because of taxes. We'll buy a lot of our tickets for the next year, like in December. So we got some big credit card bills right now because we bought all these tickets beforehand. So we had everything booked basically through November. And so right now, there's
That's
nothing.
A little scary.
Yeah, there's nothing. Like, we don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know what's going to be. And so a lot of the airlines are letting you push back your stuff. So we had to cancel our trip to the Cayman Islands. And so we switched that to November. So I'm like, okay, so we have that. But we have more trips coming up in May and June. And you know what? If we have to push that back, it's like, what's the point of spending more money when, now you're looking at a lot of people taking a lot of economic hits, that they're going to have the money to do that. And someone made a point, the economic impact of this is huge. We haven't even thought about that yet. Well, there's families that are already feeling the impact because people are losing their jobs and stuff like that. We've had friends that have had to, fire people from their, let people go and stuff like that just because they don't have the people. And so it's really, really tough. So, and I know, for example, here in Illinois, we have the shelter in place thing. So like the people that make our like Andiamo t-shirts and stuff like that, they can't go to work. And so they're not getting paid. And I know some of you have ordered shirts and if they haven't gotten out by now, they'll have to wait till after the shelter in place,
which goes through April 7th. Yeah. Brian said that he
supposed to come. If it gets out in time, if it got out in time, they'd have that. But they'll fill it out. And I talked to the owner, and he's like, it's like I had to let people go and tell them, don't come back to work because we're on this shelter in place. And he's like, and because we live in a university town, so since the university said no more classes for the rest of the semester, it's all online. So he's not making the t-shirts for graduation. He's not making the t-shirts for Little Leagues because all the Little Leagues are canceled. He's like, we don't have anything else. So I'm like, hey, we'll see what we can do to try to keep some of those people in jobs. And there's a lot of people that are, like, we don't really think about. They're going to be really massively affected by this.
Yeah, Mark ran into a friend of ours that works at a nail salon, and have they been closed for a week? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And they closed before they were asked to, which I think was brave and scary, but prudent. So there are a lot of people, your hairdressers, there are all sorts of people, your massage therapists, like there are so many people out there that aren't working. And then there's the medical field who are working insane hours. One of my best friends from high school just wrote me this morning. She's like, I loved your blog. I'm writing a blog, by the way, just about what this looks like for us. And I'm really writing to our descendants because, I always wanted to know what World War II was like for my grandparents. And so this is not a world war, but it's going to be historically important. So I'm writing it to them. But anyway, she read my blog, and she's a nurse, and she said it's been hell week. I mean, and this is just starting. We're not even jumping as much as it will jump. And she said that there were people out. They went out on their driveway last night, and everybody's out standing in their driveway. Nobody's coming any closer than that, but they're having like community that way. And she said it was a really great night because we were able to be outside and we were able to see other people, and that made a difference for her. But she yesterday she worked. It was her day off, and she worked a 12-hour day. She got home at 8:00. And a lot of our nurses and doctors and technicians, all of these people are doing that, and they're doing it under bad circumstances. My best friend from college called yesterday. She's a home health nurse, and she gets exactly 10 masks a day. And I said, honey, you're doing good, because my neighbor who she's a CRNA. She's a certified registered nurse anesthetist. That's what she does. She gets 3 a day. Oh, okay. Anyway, so she gets 3 masks a day. There's a lot of that happening, and so if you guys are hoarding masks, take them to your local hospital. Don't be a jerk.
I'm gonna guess you that watching are not those kind of people.
Probably not, so. But I mean, it's it's scary.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
Yes. So let's get to some travel stuff. Get off this, all right? So, and some of these are really sad they got canceled. I saw someone, Tracy Allman had to cancel a couple trips, and another person was going to be studying abroad in Ireland. That was canceled. CJ Cavey. Yeah, too much study abroad. Ireland was canceled. You can always go back. There'll be more chances. So that's what's
Ireland
nice.
Will still be there.
Yeah. Someone had asked, how does the diet work on the quarantine? Not very well. It's kind of tough because I'm not out teaching for 4.5 hours, running around a classroom. So the energy level, the using of energy and calories is not what it used to be. So I got to work on that. And also it's hard when you have your snacks and stuff like that are always there that the kids have, that when I'm at work, I don't have any of those snacks there. So trying to work on it. I'll keep at it because, I've lost the 50. Don't want to gain it back again. So there is that. So Alexander C., I was hoping to plan to go to Vegas with some friends last week in August. Sure hope this blows over by then. Yeah, but last week of August, it might be blown over, but you're going to melt when you go there. So I do hope you get to go there. It is a fun time. Even if you don't, it's one thing, because Vegas, I know Josh hasn't been, but I was there with a buddy of mine, and we went, and I don't gamble, and he only gambled a little bit. But we still had a nice time when we were there. But it was very interesting because you'd see, it really is made for adults. As much as Vegas is trying to show that, hey, we got stuff for kids, and they do, there's still a lot of stuff that's not for kids there. So it's kind of interesting to bump into that. And also, don't think you're going to find those cheap buffets as easy and as often as you used to, because there's so much entertainment there. They don't have to entice you to come. Because it used to be, you'd have the cheap buffets because, we got to get people into the casino and stuff like that. People are coming anyway, so they don't have to, give you the super good deals. So you do
James
have that.
James is at home doing his taxes.
Oh,
that's not the most fun thing that I could think to do during this time. But, it's necessary.
I have to do our taxes, so the fun never ends, I'm telling you. And the thing is, because I know in the U.S., I think they pushed the federal tax day to July 15th, but I don't think the state of Illinois has pushed theirs back. So it doesn't matter. You still have to have it done by April 15th anyway. So tough times are ahead. So Jennifer and Benzie, thank you very much for being a channel member. That really means a lot. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can click the join button below to find out, or you can become a member on Patreon and go to patreon.com/Wolters World to find out more for some extra insights. We actually do a live feed right now every other week, for our members and patrons only. So it's only a few people on there at a time. So it's not all the stuff flying by. So there is that. Anyway.
You didn't address Jennifer's question.
I know. I will. Go ahead. You obviously want to talk about it.
Okay, Jennifer said, do you have any ideas to entertain and educate kids? So our kids have been on spring break this week, so we've kind of let them veg these last few days. But Monday starts school again, and school from home. Our teachers are sending things in. But you have the entire world. When we were kids, we had encyclopedias. You have the entire world at your fingertips. You could easily say, hey, you know what, you can focus daily on something. Today is science, and we're just going to do a bunch of science projects and experiments. I mean, even if it's just blowing up the what do you call those the volcano with the baking soda and vinegar, or you do the Mentos, and I mean, just with the stuff that you have at home. There's so many projects out there. My dad had gotten Liam for his birthday last year a subscription to this thing where they send a box of like science experiments and things, and he didn't get them all done, so those will be done this time, but there are a lot of those online. And we're educating them on really good movies from the 90s. There's been some of that, read books, and you know what, there's a great app called BookBub. I get an email every day about certain genres that I have chosen of different types of books I like to read. And so that I get an email for like free or really inexpensive ones that I can download. So that's another thing, so you guys can have some books to read.
Yeah, so Pygmy Puff, are your kids driving you crazy? Actually, I'll be honest, the kids have taken this way better than I expected. We've had a couple issues. If you read the blog, if you go to woltersworld.com, over here, you go there and you'll see the blog will pop up. It'll be one of the first ones on there. You can just click on it and read it. You can see the stuff that's going on. But they've done actually pretty well. I've been pretty surprised. They haven't cleaned like I have. I've cleaned the garage and the basement and reorganized the storage room and all kinds of stuff. So I'm at least keeping myself busy. So we're doing that. And that's one of the things. Someone says, yeah, there's no way reopening schools before summer holidays. I would imagine that's probably going to be true. And so a lot of people are thinking, oh, we'll go back in a couple weeks, something like that. No, this is going to go longer than you think. So I think you have to think longer term. And for parents, I know it's tough because some parents are still having to go to work, and now they're trying to figure out childcare, and their kids still has to learn. What do we do? Some schools are doing full online where they're filming themselves. Some are just having you go to a site or something like that. I mean, it's tough, but you have to make sure you're actually educating your kids. And it's not there. You don't educate your kid for 8 hours when you homeschool. You do it for like 3 hours, and it's like 30 minutes per subject and stuff like that. Because you don't want to overdo it. Because think about it, when they go to school, they have the time between classes, they have the playtimes, the recesses, all this kind of stuff. So the actual education is not whole 8 hours at school. So we have to think about those things. And so when you're doing that, and there's a lot of things online that can be quite helpful.
Someone asked how we decided what to name our kids. So we had a list for the boys, like, and we're just like holding them in the hospital and trying each of the names on them, and until one stuck. You really were pretty certain about Liam. I was not entirely certain about Liam.
I didn't understand how that. I must have missed it. I know. I didn't understand where that answer came from. I didn't hear the question, so I was like,
somebody asked how we named our kids.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the question, so I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So Brian Boyd, I believe you got an extra 90 days to finish your taxes. Yeah, for federal taxes, but states have to do their own thing too because you have to pay. Like in Illinois, we have state taxes, so hopefully they'll push it back too. Let's see.
Gabe says the benefit of this is that public bathrooms are much cleaner.
Yeah, everything's much cleaner. It's nice. Like if we, if anything comes out of this and we all are washing our hands more and being less nasty,
be more hygienic.
That is a wonderful thing. Okay. Let's see. So gallivanting, originally it was still had to file by April, but now they pushed it back as filing in July. Let's see.
What does that mean?
No one knows what you're reading, babe, because they don't not see the same thing. Let's see. Yeah. So many people on here. Hello, watching from the Philippines. Hi, Mercy from there. Tyler. Yeah, Tyler Cool Guy would have been in Chicago today. I'm glad you're still home. And that's one of the things is it's sad we all have to cancel our stuff, but there's still chances to get ready for future travels and stuff like that. So you have time to really kind of focus on that and focus on other things, and that's one of the things is sometimes it's like with my weight loss, I wanted to lose 100 pounds. I'm only halfway there, but it was like, I know it's not going to happen right away. And once I admitted that to myself, that look, the crash diets don't work. You gain the weight back. It's not a sustainable thing. Once I convinced myself to stick with that, then it was like, okay, just do the little things, get your pound a week or something like that and go from there. And then after a while, you start to see it's little by little by little. It's kind of like, when you're cleaning your house, when you look at the house when it's a total disaster, you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. Forget it. I'm going to sit on the couch and play video games and stuff.
So overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. So it's like, well, you know what? I'm going to do one thing today. I'll do something. You just do little by little, and it kind of goes from there. So that's helpful. Jennifer Benzie, thank you for entertaining me and giving me such great ideas. Thanks for that, Jocelyn. I'm literally writing word by word your ideas in my notebook, and I'm glad we can help. And that's one of the things is we like doing these live things to give people a chance just to have somebody to talk to and share some ideas and share some stuff. So, yeah, gallivanting gals. Oh, where are you guys? You guys are stuck right now. Is it in France? I can't remember. I just was writing to you all. We were supposed to be in a glass roof cabin and filming Northern Lights right now. That would have been amazing.
That would be so cool. I want to do that with you when you go.
Yeah, no, there's some really wonderful things out there in this world to go see and enjoy, and we'll get to enjoy it soon enough. So
Ka asked if I was experimenting with different cuisines. So I always do that. I cook a lot, and I'm often inspired by the places that we travel and things like that. I'm not going out to get a lot of ingredients though, so I'm sort of like being even more creative. But what I am experimenting with is I hate leftovers. Like I hate eating the same meal 3 times in a row. So I'm trying to take that food and change it into like a whole different meal that's like something completely different. So like in my blog, I talked about how our corned beef became the next day's beef and veggie soup. So it tasted completely different. So yes, I'm experimenting a lot. I'm taking pictures of it. Maybe I should put some of that in the blog too.
So some other things on here. Jordan was saying, hey, they were up in Rovaniemi. Hope to get back in November. Actually, fun fact. When I was north of Rovaniemi in Finland, I broke this collarbone. It almost came all the way through the skin. It was quite fun, let me tell you. Hence why I don't ski. So a travel question. Sarah Potter, what's your favorite city in Provence? Hoping to go there this summer on a road trip. So if you get to go, Sarah, I loved Avignon. I think it makes a great base because you can go out and see a lot of other things around there in Provence and other areas right around there. So that would be for me. We have a few videos on Avignon. Actually, I have a couple old ones too I need to put out. Since I have time now, I might as well put up some Throwback Thursday ones and get some stuff out there. But I really enjoy Avignon because from there you can go to Arles and Nimes. Is very easy to get to, like 20-minute bus or 20-minute train rides. It's super close. So.
And I personally just like the drive through. For me, that's the fun, is just seeing it. Good morning.
Hello, Donna Gamble. Thank you for your service in the emergency
face.
Departments. We miss you. We can't wait to see you in a few months when this is over. In person. Have some wine together. Maybe we'll have some hot wine in the summer, because while I was cleaning, I found about 6 bottles of Glühwein, Christmas wine, that we haven't drank yet. So
I don't know if it'll make it that long. It might not make it past the end of the day now that I know it's there.
Yes, there you go. Hey, Thomas, thank you very much for becoming a member. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, Plant Obsessed. Also, Illinois. Also, my traffic is essential. My essential job is much lighter. Yeah, travel will be much lighter these days. We have a friend of ours who's in Atlanta, and they're like, yeah, it's a lot easier to get around. I'm like, yeah, and then that's saying something in Atlanta. So, oops, sorry, it's jumping around on us too. You guys are in Indy. Sorry, Gallivanting Gals are in Indy. Sorry. Did you have a question?
Yeah, no, I did.
Moi, Netifen and Turku. Turusa.
So where did it go? It was Maddie had a question. She said, do you have any question or, Spectrum Art Maddie? There it is. Any suggestions on how you would go about getting Airbnb to waive fees and give a full refund? We're losing 50% on some. Any recourse?
Here's the thing: VRBO is not being very helpful. Airbnb, they said they'll let all cancellations go. Like they announced that, so I would contact them, and be like, hey, you said you're letting us have cancellations. Can we get something back? I know for us, like we booked through VRBO, who sent us to another firm, and they were like, no refunds, but you can pay a rebooking fee to try it later. So we paid the rebooking fee to book later in the year, and so we got that. And the thing that was interesting is when we rebooked, we actually weren't going to be spending the whole time there. We got less. So then they were sending us money back because we weren't staying as many days. So I'm like, wait, you couldn't give a refund, you couldn't cancel, but you get money that way. So
yeah, for all of you who are trying to cancel things, think about rebooking them and just doing it at a later date, because you might you get more bang for your buck that way.
So Sarah Potter asks, have you ever been to the Canary Islands? Is it worth it? I have been to the Canary Islands. If you like to see a lot of drunk Swedes and Germans and English people, if you're in like Gran Canaria, that was there. It was kind of like a letdown for the Spanish side. You have to really go away from stuff to really get there. I think Tenerife's probably a little bit better than Gran Canaria, so have a heads up for that. Pygmy Puff, what are you going to do now that you can't travel? Family vlogs? We will have some stuff for this week and the next week. I think this coming week, we're going to be putting out things like, travel movies you can watch and stream and stuff like that, because I've got my list now, and I've got like the streaming services they're on. And then we'll have, we'll do a fun, the don'ts of a quarantine, to give people some information, some do's and don'ts, like in our usual positive way. It's not bad don'ts, it's just positive don'ts. So we'll have that coming out. And then we have lots and lots of videos. Like I have lots and lots of videos that we have not put up yet, because I never wanted to put more than 2 videos, maybe 3 videos max from the same country in a row, because I feel people, they want to see different places. And I think by April, people are going to want to have some kind of diversion. They're not going to want to have to talk about COVID or coronavirus or bans and stuff like that. They want to go back to some normalcy. So starting April 1st, we'll actually be putting out our travel videos again, just to give people some like normalness kind of stuff, so you can go and see some of the beautiful places out there in the world and think about where am I going to go after this is over. But we will still be doing our live feeds as well, so we can have some kind of face-to-face time to talk to you all. So we have that.
Shakes just made a good point. Think about how much we're all going to enjoy that first trip when we get there. And you know what? It'll be a hugely different thing. I think you're right. We'll all be very happy.
Yeah. Grant Rennie, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. And Paul Tipton, thank you for becoming a member. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much. And for those of you that sent super chats, we haven't said hi before. They're not like, we get a little thing when it says someone becomes a member or someone becomes a thing. Like you guys are seeing it probably on there, but it wasn't showing up on mine. So thank you, Grant. Thank you, Remy. Or thank you, Grant. And thank you, Paul, for becoming a member. That's really awesome. Thank you so much.
I don't know if you can answer that or not, but
okay, so Princess of Santorini. My travel insurance is not covering anything. I wasted $600. I heard if you book on credit, you get travel insurance. Is this true and covered by the credit card? That depends on your credit card. You have to see what the benefits are on your credit card. Some American Expresses were like that. Some with other, it really depends. Like, for us, what we do is we buy the insurance that they offer when we buy international flights. We get that. But the thing is normal travel insurance will cover normal travel stuff. They will not. Probably in their terms of service, it'll say in pandemics we don't cover this, and so that's what sucks. And I think this is where you're going to see a big change in travel insurance. Someone asked a question about this on our last live feed, and I didn't get a chance to answer it. And the insurance things is, I think you'll see more people buying the insurance, but I think people are going to want something out of the insurance, because I know, like, we bought travel insurance this summer. My mom and I went to Scotland, and our plane broke. Last summer. Well, talking in the past. Anyway, this past summer, and the plane actually broke. Like, they had to pull it away from the thing. And while we were there, there's a fire alarm that went off at the airport in Indianapolis, and it was crazy. And so we couldn't catch our flights, so they canceled the stuff. And so we filed our claims with the place, with the airline company who we bought the travel insurance from. And it took them like 6 months to get the money back. They're like, well, we need a copy of your copy of the insurance policy. I'm like, you sent me the email. You have it linked to my email. You have this. Like, no, you need to send your copy to us. It's one of those hoops that all these places, make you jump through, which is BS. And so we had to get that. Then we send the stuff to, well, we need the credit card receipt that you paid for this. So I sent them that. Oh, but we need the proof that you actually paid your credit card and it showed up on there, that you didn't cancel later, because people apparently will like book a hotel room and get the confirmation but then not pay. And so we had that. I'm like, it was just like hoop after hoop. So it took a few months to get the money back. So I think what you're going to see is people are going to be a little more, they're going to be getting more of these travel insurance, but they're going to be more thoughtful and kind of like, hey, what's going on here? And I think that's what a lot of people have to think about is, when I click that OK when I'm getting my privacy settings, or I'm clicking that OK when I buy something, we really need to look at it a bit more and say, hey, what's going on?
What are your favorite places to visit in South America?
You can go first.
Ecuador, Brazil, Peru. I think those would be my top countries. And I like to get into the small towns of those places, just because you get a lot more flavor and a lot more culture. I think that's like, I don't know, you get a more one-on-one personal thing. So, how about you?
For me, I always love Brazil, because I speaking a little Portuguese and having lived there, it's got a special place in my heart. But I think for travelers, Peru is great because there's so much to see and do that's like world famous that people can see, and the food is fantastic. But I love going to Central and South America. I just love going down there. It's like for us, for me at least, it's a really relaxing place, and for the kids, seem to really love it because it's more of an outdoor tourism kind of stuff versus the museum, church. Yeah, it's more adventure-y, so it is kind of nice. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I know for like I love going to the Pantanal in the south. It's kind of southwest of Brazil, in the south there, where you go and see all, go fishing for piranhas and stuff like that. It was pretty kind of neat. And piranha actually tastes pretty good. It got a lot of little bones, though. You got to be careful there with that.
Okay. Yep. Sorry, I wasn't ready.
Okay, George Butler asked, what did you think about Montpellier, France? So I was actually there right after 9/11, actually. So it's been 20 years since I was there. I was impressed with it. Like, you could tell that Montpellier has, or at least had money when they had the architecture. It was very much a kind of regal city, I felt. Very, very, I don't know, it's 1800s feel. I mean, it was worth it. I went from Barcelona to there, and I had a nice time. I only stayed a couple days, but it was worth a stopover.
This is off topic a little bit, but we were talking about how the tax stuff has been pushed back until July, and Lou is a tax professional. And he just wants to make sure that we all know that you have to contribute to your IRA for the 2019. That deadline is still April 15th. So
thank you, Lou.
That's a good thing to know.
Much appreciated, buddy.
People.
Need to make sure.
Hello, Gui.
If you have any money, Gui's on here. Yeah, Gui. Hola. Mark, imagine you're sitting relaxed with a nice view while having a great local beer. Where are you at? I'm on the beaches of Brazil having a Brahma bem geladinha. Oh yeah, knocking it back with my buddy Gui. That's where I'm at, buddy. That's where I'm at right now in my mind. So CJ KV, have you guys been to Salzburg? If so, what are some attractions outside of hiking Hitler's Eagle's Nest? Well, you take the bus up to the Eagle's Nest, which can be a little disconcerting when you're going up there and you're like, we're going to fall to our death. Salzburg is a fantastic town. I think for middle-sized cities in Europe, it's one of the top 10 by far. There's so much to see and do in it there, and the city is just gorgeous to walk around. It can be a bit pricey, but if you're on the other side of the river, that's not in the old town part. If you go on the other side, you can find some really cool accommodations. And actually, there's a place we stayed. I did a video on hotels in Europe and what to know, and it's actually in a hotel in Austria where they actually had like swans on the bedposts and stuff like that. It was like crazy, trippy, cool. So there was that. Oh yeah. James Richards says the corned beef in the blog looked delicious. It was delicious, and one of our 2 children really loved it. The other one, I think, was just scared off by it. Hey, Grant in Scotland, pink, buddy. Right? Thank you for everything.
It's a funny color.
Yeah.
All right.
So DX says, Airbnb gave me all my money back. It was June in Italy from Germany. And here's one of the things with the cancellations. When people are waiting to see, like, should I cancel now or things like that? If you don't have anything else and there's nothing you can do now about it, like let's say you just have the flights, it might be better to wait and see if they're going to cancel it, because they canceled, they're supposed to give you the money back. Whereas if you cancel, you're the one to choose, So that's another one of those little like loophole things that get a little bit annoying. Always on in Northern Virginia. Hope everything's doing well up in Nova.
Hello, New Hampshire.
Oh, Marcos Vieira in New Hampshire. Nice to see you, buddy. So, Kai, have you been to Mauritius or Seychelles? I have not, but my buddy Duafire has some videos on there that helps there, and we've done some videos with him, and he's a good dude, so he can get some more stuff to help you out. Thomas B, do you think people will appreciate travel more after this? I think people will appreciate a lot of things a lot more after this. And I think you're seeing that in terms of social media, and you're seeing what people are really focusing on, and you're seeing people are getting past the little things that annoyed us and things like that. Like, we need to focus on the bigger picture and being together at this time. And I think that's one of the things that's really been there's no that one positive is you're getting people coming together, and so that's really nice to see. So that is kind of a cool thing. So wait, we got a big jump. Oh, Heath Runyon, thank you very much for the super chat. Going to Portugal in November, some advices on restaurants in Lisbon. Eat at any of them, you'll be fine. Remember, I would watch our Don'ts. Oh, I put up my Don'ts of Lisbon video, so I can put that out. I'll have that out by November for sure. But Heath, when you go there, when they bring the food out and stuff like that, everything you eat that you think is free, you're going to have to pay for. So have a heads up. But when you're going there, the fish dishes are all good. All the fish is there. It's really, really fantastic. And the pork, the black pork, porco preto, is really good when you're there. Saying exact restaurants, you want to go to places that are called tashkas, and that's a mom and pop restaurant. So there's like the owners like are the ones cooking for you, and it's like a real traditional kind of thing. Like we would eat there, 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And Tashka isn't it's not like a chain. Tashka is the type of restaurant you want to go to.
TASCA, because it sounds very different to us. But also, I found that a lot of the pricey, fancy sort of restaurants have very similar menus to a lot of the Tashkas.
Yeah, it's like 95% of the Portuguese menu is the same at every restaurant. So there isn't that.
And you'll always find something really special. That thing that's really different on a menu is usually the thing that the chef does the best, in my opinion. Like that beef de Madeira.
Yeah.
That, oh my gosh, y'all, I ate this food twice a week when I was in Portugal. It's probably why I gained so much weight when we lived there.
Yeah, but it was so tasty.
Yes.
So Lisa Hernandez, I'm praying I don't have to cancel my trip to London and Paris in December. It's a long way off. We'll have a much better feel of what's going on. I'm sure things will be okay. I wouldn't worry about it right now. It's totally out of your control. Don't even worry about it. Okay. Kevin, thank you very much for the super chat. I love your travel videos. Thank you very much. In December, I bought German and Swiss rail passes for June. Have you heard any word on if you can reschedule them? You need to contact them directly and let them know what's going on. Because if everything's canceled and everything's on lockdown, they can't offer their services. So they should give some kind of refund. But I would contact them directly with that.
And you may have to wait a little bit closer to that date. June's still a little ways off. So
yeah. So here's an interesting one. Banacos. We'll just go Banacos. Which location have you regretted visiting? So I don't know if there's a place I regret visiting. There's things I regretted going one place instead of another place first. We ended up in Aruba over spring break over Thanksgiving because we had to cancel a trip because there were some issues. And so it was kind of like, well, you can choose one of these 3 destinations. And one was Colombia, and they were having lockdowns because they were having curfews and stuff like that. Another one was like a 15-hour flight, and we would have had to leave the next morning. It was like, oh no. So it was Aruba. And now I look back and I'm like, you know what? We should have done that South Korea trip in November, But at the time, I was burned out. I was tired. I was like, I want to go someplace and relax and not think.
And I should have pushed you more.
Well, also then I would have. I mean, the videos wouldn't have been anywhere near as good because I wouldn't have had 3 months of prep and stuff like that.
Plan for those.
So that was kind of sad. Our buddy in Reading UK, good to see you up on here, Colin Bell. Let's see. Yes, we do have videos on Crete. Olivia Benzing. Hi, Mark and Jocelyn. Have either of you ever been to Maui? I wanted to visit after I finished my master's. I have not been, but I have friends that go every year and they love it. And I don't know anybody that really has not liked
Nobody
Hawaii.
Doesn't love
They don't like the prices. I will tell you that. They do not like the prices on there.
Nor the traffic is pretty bad too.
Yeah. So, and you'll want to rent a car when you're there to get around. That makes life a lot easier. Paul Tipton, thank you for being a member. I haven't traveled since 2010, really wanting to travel, just getting inspiration from Wolters World videos despite the COVID-19. Thank you, Paul. We really appreciate it. There are still a few people watching our videos. For example, like our usual videos at this time of year are getting about 200,000 views a day. And right now we're getting about 20,000 views a day. So it's down quite a bit in terms of people. And I really see that because our videos are, as you that watch, our videos are helping people prepare to travel, and no one's preparing to travel right now because we don't know when we can travel again, and that's okay. We just want to be here to help out and talk to people, and if you want to watch like Paul and get ready, great. If not, it's totally okay. We still love you, want to be there for you. Okay. Michael Mann, we got to jump. It jumped up to Michael Mann. Where'd he go? Hey, thank you very much for the super chat, Michael. Appreciate it, buddy. Hi, Mark and Jocelyn, just popping in to say hi. Please keep my family in your prayers as my brother passed away this week. Lots of family and estate issues to deal with. Take care, everyone. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry, man. That is our condolences, man. May his
doubly difficult now.
Yeah, may his memory be eternal, man. I mean, that sucks. And that's the thing is, with all these things going on, one of my neighbors when I was a kid, their uncle passed away, and she was really upset. She's like, look, he deserves more than a graveside service with 10 people or less. And that's just it. Like, this is why we're staying home. This is why you need to stay home, because we want to keep the spread down, because it's not necessarily people are going to get COVID or something like that. It's the other things that are happening, because maybe you're in a car accident and now there's not an ICU because they're all taken up. We want to make sure we're trying to, flatten that curve. We're trying to help out as much as we can, so families they can get through these tough times. And so, Michael, our heart goes out to you, man. Sorry, buddy. So, well, but we love you, man. We love you. Miranda Moynihan, thank you very much for the super chat. I'll be traveling from Massachusetts to New Jersey to go to work on the COVID-19 testing for my country. I go for 6 weeks starting Monday. Bless your heart. Be with you. Take all the stuff you need. Take extra stuff you need. If you have any medicines, make sure you have everything backed up. Get your prescriptions from your doctors and things like that. And this is for anybody that's still thinking about traveling right now, because I know some people, they still have to travel. Maybe they're driving the trucks, or they haven't had the shelter in place like we have in Illinois or whatever. You want to make sure you're prepared as much as you can. So have those things with you, Miranda, when you're going to go.
And thanks for working on testing.
Yes, and thank you for that.
That's a big thing.
That's helping a lot of people know, and help a lot of people make better choices to stay at home. So there is that. So Jewel of Troy, good morning from Southern California. Stay-at-home order here as well, except for essential businesses. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless you too, and everybody on here. We really appreciate you being on here and just sit to chat with us, because also for us, I mean, to be able to talk to you and hear about some of your travel stuff and talk about that, it's nice to have this kind of, it's nice to have some of these times of just be interacting with people, because right now it's tough. And so that's why we were telling people, call your family, call them, text them, do whatever. People you haven't talked to for a while, because people need this socialization. My buddy, who I usually see, 4 or 5 times a week, we can't see each other now, and so we were talking on the phone yesterday. I'm like, hey, and he lives 3 blocks away from me, and we're just chatting. I'm like, we were trying to figure out ways, how could we do this before the shelter in place thing went on. I'm like, well, what we could do is on your back porch, we put 2 chairs 8 feet away, and then on my back porch, we'll put 2 chairs 8 feet away, so we can, go for a walk, and then we can sit and talk for a while, and then head back home. And so we're all social beasts, so let's try to figure out ways we can help each other out. So, Polish Bison, we are planning to visit Mobile, Alabama this summer. Any advice? So when you're hitting the beaches, just grab some stuff before you go, because at the beaches there's not as many there's not people walking around selling stuff as much. But there's other places to visit too when you're in Alabama. Don't be scared of the Alabama white sauce for the barbecue sauce. It's actually pretty good. That's more. I think that's more than northern Alabama though. But there's some nice stuff to see. Yeah, it's nice. You'll have a good time when you're there.
Mr. Means to Travel asks, what are our first steps when we start planning a trip?
So for us, a lot of times this is what inspires us to go. Rwanda was inspired by Joseph Rosendo's Travel Scope, and he went to Rwanda. It was just a fantastic thing. Sometimes what we'll do is we'll actually ask our fans, where would you like us to go? Excuse me. And so we'll start from there. And sometimes it's you know what? Where's someplace I'd like to go? We haven't gone yet. Or who do I want to see again? This year was going to be a big year for me going to see some of my friends, because I was supposed to go to London to see my buddy Dave, who lives there. But I had to cancel that. And then we were going to go to Italy for our friend's wedding. That's probably not going to happen now, because it's in Italy, and that's in June and May and June. And then we're going to see friends in Austria, and we're going to see friends in Greece. And so a lot of times it is who are we going to go see? Who do you want to see? Who do I miss the most? And that's always miss the most. And who does I miss? I want to see my buddy Alvi in Lithuania. I want to go see him. And so sometimes it's going to see friends. Sometimes you know what? We don't know some of these places. I want to go see some more stuff. Morocco, we hadn't been. Let's go. Rwanda, Tanzania. Yeah, we saw some stuff that inspired us.
But what's your planning?
Oh, my planning?
Not how you decide, but what's your planning? I mean, when.
So what'll happen is once we decide a destination, we look at how much time we're going to have. And then it's kind of okay, let's look at the most popular places to go. And also, we have tons of guidebooks in our library. You guys see, the book side. On the other side, there's 4
shelves.
There's 4 shelves on that side
of just travel books.
Yeah, and so we'll go through and say, what should we see? There's the Lonely Planets of the World book, and I actually will go through it and look for destinations. This sounds cool. Anyway, and so
once we decide on a place, we start looking at the big things that we want to see, because everybody wants to see different stuff, and so we kind of lay that out, and then we figure out where we're going to stay in relation to those things. What is the good, safe area to be in? With being able to get to other things, and then. How long are we going to stay? Are we going to do a bunch of day trips from that place, or are we going to just stay there for 3 days and go on? So that kind of helps me decide, if we're going to stay somewhere for a week and take a bunch of day trips, I'm getting an apartment. If we're staying for 1 or 2 nights, I'm getting a hotel. So those things factor into the overall thing too. And then where are we coming from and where are we going to next? Are we coming from home and are we going back home? That changes things too in our planning.
So DX, hi Mark. Everyone is stress scrolling their Twitter, and that's why you have so few views with homeschooling. And that's the thing is, I'm not upset at all. I mean, I completely understand. I mean, I do the same thing. What's going on? I want to see if my family's okay or people sick. So I have no problem with people not watching travel videos right now. That's why we have videos saying don't travel. You know, it's like focus on your family, focus on keep yourself safe, staying home, things like that. People will travel again. It'll be fine. So let's see. Lou. Hey, Mark and Jocelyn, my friend and I are trying to get visas to visit Turkmenistan in the fall. Any thoughts? Have you guys ever visited or ever planned to? So the stands, that was one of our options for this summer until our friends decided to get married. And after 20 years together, they finally decided to get married. We're like, priority number one. And I was supposed to be the best man at the wedding too. And I'm like, everything went to the side. And this happened actually a couple years ago. My family in Brazil, their son was getting married. And since we're like brothers, I'm like, nope, Southeast Asia trip. We're not doing it. We got to go to the wedding kind of stuff. But Turkmenistan, all the stands kind of stuff, they've really become popular lately, and they've actually pushed for a lot of tourism. You've seen a lot of bloggers and vloggers have gone there because a lot of those countries have started to like sponsor those bloggers to go there. Like we got contacted to go, and you know, I'm like, hey, we want to do our honest stuff. Like, no, we want you to show our towns. I'm like, I will, but you got to be honest. And so we didn't end up not doing it, but.
Joe is saying, please do this live every week. We are every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time and on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're doing this twice weekly. And, you know, we want to get you guys together to talk to you and you ask us questions. But we also really love that you guys are talking to each other. I see a lot of that happening in the chat. And you guys answering one another's questions that we can't necessarily get to all the time. So we just want to connect people, and we want you guys to have a little community right now in this crazy time. So
because you may be having community with your family all the time, but you know what? Eventually, you're like, you know what? I love you. I love you.
I love Mark, but sometimes he annoys me.
And sometimes. Well, you never annoy me.
I never annoy.
You may piss me off, but you never annoy me. You never annoy me, babe.
Oh,
so there's that. Oh, Babs R. I saw an influencer who got married in Central Park Gardens who group chatted her wedding because guests could not attend. That was a nice idea. That's very cool. And that's the thing you have to do is you have to find these kind of extra alternatives for that. So Peter asks, out of curiosity, have you ever visited any museum ships? Actually, yes, we have. I went to one. There's an aircraft carrier you can go on in San Diego, which was pretty cool. When we were in Turku, there was just a small ship we could go on. If you go to Mystic Seaport in Connecticut, you can actually go into a bunch of ships.
Those are like old historic wooden ships. They're amazing.
Yeah, so it's cool.
Very, very cool.
Samantha Falk, thank you very much for the super chat.
You.
Have y'all been to Southeast Asia? If so, is there anything you should worry about traveling there solo as a woman? I plan on going there once all this crap blows over. Usual travel safety. Do be careful when you're going out at night. I don't know if you're a clubbing person or stuff like that. Be careful of the over friendly like local. That's my big thing for any traveler when they're going to Southeast Asia or actually anywhere, because there are helpful people out there, but when they're too helpful and trying to help too much, just have a heads up for that. But yeah, you have a great time. The thing is, Southeast Asia's travel network for backpackers and stuff like that is huge because so many people go there, and there's so much content out there to help people travel better there. Though a lot of them are just making it always look super nice. Like I'm in Bali at this $9,000 resort that's like $9 a day. So you can live it up for sure when you're there. So you have a good time, Samantha. So thank you for the super chat, and I hope that helps out a bit.
Paul Tipton.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's so random and it made me laugh. Thanks for the laugh, Paul. He says 4th of July isn't done in England. Nope.
No.
They call that Rebellion Day.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Thank you.
Oh, another super chat. Thanks, James Richard. April trip to London and Greece isn't happening due to flight cancellations. BA prices, even in the fall, nearly double the prior booking because we found a deal, refund or reschedule. This is one of those things. So the flight prices were down. Remember, like they had all these deals in the beginning of March before this really blew up. Mm-hmm. And so they had that. But now they've been cutting so many flights. Like some airlines are cutting like 40-50% of their flights. Yeah. So now it's that supply and demand. Well, now there's not a lot of things left. And so you have these kind of things. So those prices are going back up. Like when I rebooked our tickets that we had to cancel for spring break for November, I still had to pay an extra $200. Because, your ticket was
But that was cheaper than losing everything.
Yeah, it was cheaper than losing everything. So there is that. I would look to reschedule. And James, if you have a chance to reschedule like in a time that's not as popular, that might be a bit better. If you can get a full refund, that might be the best way to go. But I know for some airlines, you just get like credit. So have a heads up for that. Yes, you're touching me.
I put my hand on you because I'm trying to tell you I have a couple questions I want to answer when you're finished.
No, you go ahead.
No.
I'm just trying to help James out. But yeah, so James, reschedule if you can for later. If they're giving that option, because especially if you're just going to lose the money. Because here's the thing: if they're giving you a chance to change your ticket, they're not going to give you your money back, but they're giving you a free switch. Switch to something later and pop like later, because then you know what? Then if that later one doesn't go, at least I had the chance to maybe go and things got better. So have a heads up for that. So I hope that helps a little bit, James.
Okay, so
there's the other Marielle here too.
Because on our last live chat, these two women named Mary Ellen became friends. So one of the Mary Ellens is here. The other Mary Ellen, if you're on here, please reply so that you guys can go back to your chatting.
Yes.
Because I love that you made friends.
So Jimmy UK, hey, hello, how you coping with staying in? Well, I just made a list of 85 videos I have to make for my class.
Only 85.
Only 85.
How much?
80 videos I have to make for my class because I teach marketing. And one of my classes, I've got almost all the videos done. There's only like 5 left. But the other one, I got to make 85 videos to like 5 to 15 minute long videos for this class. So my students have all the information. So I know the next 2 weeks, I'll be standing in front of I'll either be sitting here in front of this or I'll be in front of our fireplace filming a lot of stuff. So that's why I'll be keeping busy.
Not very fun backgrounds compared to your normal stuff.
No, that's a sad.
Daniel just pointed out that technically there is a 4th of July everywhere.
Boom! Mic drop. Oh, snap. There you go. Oh, man. Any ideas for retirement celebration travel once travel opens up again? Go to the Babs, go to the place you've always wanted to go. Because that's one thing my parents have said. Like, my parents are in their 70s now, and they'll say, like, look, we went to Africa last year because my mom's like, I don't know if we'll be able to do this anymore. Do the things you really wanted to do first, especially stuff that's more active-based, because it's not like you're going to get more active later on. So you want to be careful with that. So I would definitely check the place you really want to go that's been calling you forever. Get that one. Make sure that, because you never know. Like, one of our good friends, one of our best friends, Susie, her dad, he retired in March, found out he had pancreatic cancer in April, and was gone in October. So take that chance. Go the one big place. Because if you only get to have one blowout retirement party, that's the thing you get to have, is to go do that. It's like people go after they graduate college to do their backpacking in Europe or something like that. I know for me,
hold on to that.
I wanted to go to Egypt when I finished my PhD, but I had to go to work. So I didn't get to go do that. So we're still waiting for that Egypt trip. But one day we'll get there.
All right. Hang on, hold still. There was something. Okay, I'm so glad you guys are home. What would you have done if you were traveling and kind of stuck?
So I actually thought about this. I would have contacted the place we were renting and see if we can stay. If it was something exorbitant, I'd be like, look, try to find like a month-long rental, and or long as a 2-month rental or something like that, so we get that. Moved our family to there, stocked up like they recommend you do, and just kind of do what we're doing now. Filming our videos that we have to do for work, and
we would have just been in a different house.
Kids. Different house. Like, at least this house, we know that we have a library in it, so we can read.
I got books,
and we have our Christmas tree. So
and you know what? Last year, I bought some fabric to make a new shower curtain in the boys' bathroom, and guess what? I'm actually starting that.
Yes. Oh, and also it's nice to celebrate this. Our shower is leaking. Our shower in our room is leaking through our garage. But so we turned all that. So we're actually taking showers in our very basement. So we go down 2 floors. So if you ever go by our house and you see a white butt going by, that's probably mine.
You really don't need to put that out there for the world. We don't have to share everything.
We don't share everything. Like, I don't tell them how much I love you, how amazing you are. And Nico, good point on your question. I did see that, though she didn't.
What?
Nothing. Anyway, Angela Biddick, thank you very much for the super chat. Hi guys, you taking advantage of these current airfare sales for future travel? I'm specifically looking at La Compañía, but a little concerned about smaller airlines folding under this crisis.
That is a legitimate concern, sister.
Yeah, I mean, as a marketing professor, as a business person, I see the big companies tend to get bailed out. The smaller ones kind of get forgotten, and that's one of the big scares I have for this whole economic crisis is going to happen during and after this goes by. When you're looking at these deals, any deal you're buying now, just realize, look, you might lose it. So the thing is, like, if it's such a great deal, like I don't mind losing $200 for the chance to fly to London for, in December. Yeah, then buy it and you have that. I know for us, I said this earlier in the chat, we book 6-7 months in advance, 8 months in advance for sometimes more. And like our flight for spring break, we booked in July because when I was getting the refund, they're like, well, you booked this in July, so technically, and they worked with us, so it was nice, but you got to be careful with that. So if it's a deal that's too good to pass up, and you don't mind being out the money, then yeah, you could do that. But we're not right now because we have everything. We had everything booked till November. So now what we're doing is we're just changing those flights from March to November and stuff like this. So we're just kind of moving these things as things change. So yeah, but there are great deals out there if you want to look for them. But just realize that there could be some other things out there. So Punk Edizoni, Amiamo, nice shirt. Thank you very much. You can pick up our shirts at woltersworld.store. But since Illinois is we're at the not lockdown, well lockdown, but not what's it called? Shelter in place. Shelter in place we actually print these shirts in where we live, like our town. Like we hire people in our hometown to do this. One of our friends, he owns the company and stuff like that, and he's like. It's like we're closed. Like we can't make the shirts right now, but we'll be like if we have orders and we can go back April 8th, we'll be there and we will start making the shirts and putting the stuff out there. So if you want to grab one, you can go to woltersworld.store and you can order some shirts and order some stuff and they'll be shipped and sent out when they can come back to work. And you actually help those people get back to work because all the university stuff has stopped printing. So they'll just be making Andiamo shirts if you want that, or chicken pizza, Chichinitza, not chicken pizza stuff. So there are those out there. So, Balkos, is it true everyone in England live in a castle? I don't think so. I've been to England and I've seen a lot of castles, but I don't think people actually live in them anymore. So I don't think anybody lives in too many castles now, sadly. So there is that. Maybe the Queen. She has her stuff. So Uzbekistan says, guys, thank you so much. I've got one question. Are you ever going to Uzbekistan? Yes, we will eventually get. Pretty much every country in the world is on our list of places to go. It's just a question of when can we get stuff in there? Like, who saw this coming? Like we had plenty of travels set up for the summer and the spring that probably aren't going to happen. And so now, like, everything's getting changed for, like, next year. If things are under control, we're like, hey, where do we want to go? And part of the thing is we want to go places that we can show people that it's okay to travel. Like we went to El Salvador to show, look, you can go to El Salvador. We went to Nicaragua to show Nicaragua is okay. We went to Rwanda to show people Rwanda's okay. And we feel that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be scared to go to Italy and scared to go to China and scared to go to other places because of this. And if we can help people feel more comfortable traveling the world, that's what we're going to do when this is over, to show people, hey, it's okay to go out again. It's okay to travel again. And we feel it's kind of like what we should be doing. So that will influence a lot of where we travel next year. Because next year, our plan for 2021, for our big 3 months when we were off, was fly down to Australia, do Australia, New Zealand, then go up to Indonesia, Philippines, Taiwan, then up to South Korea and come over. So like kind of coming up that way. And coming back to the U.S. and maybe that's what we're going to do in the future. But right now everything's up in the air, so it's kind of tough to really know. Lisa Carter, hey professor, what businesses do you think will likely collapse because of the quarantine? I think you'll see a lot of retail places, a lot of restaurants, a lot of travel stuff will go under. Hopefully they'll come back eventually, but it's going to be a really tough time. And that's why it's important we all can help if we can help. Because I know some people now, they can't help. They don't have the financial means. They've lost their jobs because of this. And more people will lose their jobs, and the ramifications for that the knock-on effects that go into that, it's going to be tough. And so we all need to do our part. Maybe that is donating to your local food bank, or maybe that is, helping your neighbor out or talking to people. There's going to be a lot of stuff out there. So it's really kind of a scary thing. So what platform is our school using? So our school is actually sending out study sheets and study plans from each teacher to us. So we have to go through that for the week and send the homework in and stuff like that to them. So it's not like an actual homeschooling kind of thing. It's the teachers are doing it themselves. So Nader1, what do you think of the danger vloggers? So the danger vloggers, the ones that'll go to, Chernobyl and go see that, or they'll go to North Korea and things like that.
They're stupid.
I think one of the things is, they're trying to show the world, and I understand that, and that's kind of a cool thing to show. But also, some of them do a good job of saying, look, this is not a good idea. You maybe shouldn't do this. This is me doing it. I think you need to be responsible as a vlogger, as someone that's out there showing stuff. That's why when we put out videos, we're not putting out videos saying go travel. That's why it says don't travel. And some travel bloggers are still putting out all this great content saying, hey, look at all these great prices. Go buy up everything. Of course, they probably have a link down below to go to Kayak and they get a kickback from it. Are they sharing that? So we always try to keep things on the up and up. It's one of the big things that's important to us. Yeah. So.
All right. I'm drinking tea. I needed some caffeine. Have you noticed I'm really quiet today? I'm sort of tired.
Yeah.
Liam and I sat up and watched Father Brown until after midnight last night.
Yeah.
As I'm telling you guys that one of the coping mechanisms for being at home is to go to bed and rise at normal hours. So, what platform is your school using for classes? Our kids' school.
Oh, my school? Oh.
Your school.
Oh, so
Zoom University.
Some of the University of Illinois, and they're using Zoom. They want people to use Zoom, but that works for smaller classes. I have a class of 325 students, so I'll be doing I'll be sending my students YouTube videos for the stuff I'm filming here. We'll do occasional live sessions like you have here. I will probably, because like the other class, I have to film like 85 videos to finish everything. I will not get 85 videos done and edited by the end of the semester. So most likely what we'll have is I actually do like some live YouTube things. So if you go to our Professor Wolters channel, it's just Professor Wolters. And you subscribe on there, you'll see some live feeds of me teaching on there, some marketing stuff. So that'll put in there.
Hold still.
Katrina in Duluth, good to see you.
Yep. Hey, I spent my summers up there, actually in Knife River, Two Harbors area. All right, yes, answer that one.
So our friends that are stuck in India right now, gallivanting gals, what places would you say we should not go as a same-sex couple? I would say there's some places you really need to be more concerned about. Like if you're going to, like Jamaica does have a reputation of being unfriendly, to say the least, to same-sex couples. If you're going in Eastern Europe, you're going to see a little more intolerance there. One thing I've seen that's nice, around the world, people become more tolerant and more inclusive with the LGBTQ community. And that's one thing I've seen. And that's one thing I really have seen a lot in the 20 years I've been traveling like full-time is how much more inclusive the world's been, how the opportunities they are, that you don't have to be scared going a lot of places. So that's really nice. But there are some destinations you do need to think about. And sometimes it's not, it's just not the holding the hands, but also the public displays of affection anywhere. Like some places we can't show. We're married and we're same sex, or not same sex. We're heterosexual couple. We can't show it. So sometimes you have to think about that.
I had a hard time with that. In Rwanda, PDA is
a no
frowned upon.
Yeah.
And I hold Mark's hand all the time. Like we just
never. Like, look, I've got she's holding it so much, it's so dry and chapped.
So anyway, I do like to hold his hand, and I just automatically did it. And our guide kind of looked at us, and I was like, sorry, and he wasn't trying to be mean. He was just kind of like, hey, don't do that in town, So that's it. All right.
Yeah, Gallivanting Gals laughing at the Christmas tree. Put up the Christmas tree. And that's why, if you saw our video we put out this morning, just showing out a couple really nice videos that people sent us from Strasbourg and Delft, of people just showing some support. If there's some little things you can do to bring some brightness out there, whether it's hanging your Christmas lights again or turn on that Christmas tree if you haven't taken it down yet, there are some things we do.
Have you ever been to a resort? If so, where? Yes, we have been to several resorts. But usually we don't do them as a rule. We might stay for a night or two just to see what it's like in a different place. Like when we went to Jamaica, we stayed at an all-inclusive for 2 nights, the first 2 nights we were there, because we're bringing you information. So we need to know what those things are like, even if we're not visiting all of them.
And I've done in Cancun, I've done them there too. And I've done a couple in Europe that were kind of resorts.
I guess one of the ones in Tanzania was a resort. The one up on the ridge.
Yeah.
But we were just there for 1 night. Although my mother-in-law and I loved it so much, we were both like, we need to come back here again. It was so cool.
Yeah.
1 night wasn't enough.
So Winston Fujimori, hey, glad you can stay for a little bit. Just thanks for saying hi. You love the videos. You really mean a lot to us, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Katrina in Minneapolis. Good to see you on here. Okay. Googly. My group going to Ireland in the fall doesn't want to rent a car. Is it possible to see the West Coast without one? The West Coast? It'll be a little tough. There are some tours you can hire. You can hire a driver to do that for you. But I honestly recommend, but drive, and because people get scared of driving the other side of the road. What you could do is take a train over to Galway or take the bus over to Galway, just rent from Galway, just have a day drive and do that. That could be something to do. But yeah, Brian Boyd, Minnesotans love Wolters World.
That's because Brian is from Minnie and Katrina's from Duluth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mr. Memes to Travel. Anyone tuning into the Hallmark Christmas Marathon?
I sent that to my dad and his wife.
This is one of those things. This is where we're seeing some of the great things in humanity. It's little things like this. You know what? Let's put the Christmas Marathon on. Let's put those Christmas lights on. I got to give Disney credit. I mean, they put Frozen 2 online on Disney Plus 3 months early. That how many DVD sales they're losing for that. I mean, it's little things that we can do, but
it's a huge kindness for those of us who are stuck at home with our kids.
And also, I would like to thank Disney for not making any of the songs in Frozen 2 as catchy as the old songs, because now the kids aren't singing them all the time, so that's kind of nice. And Jocelyn, you can't sing that song. I
outlawed that other song because
I can't even sing it here.
That and the Lego song. That I can't handle them.
She has this thing with it. Like, we can't even watch the Lego movie. She's like, I'm like. Dude, it's because
awesome. For the next 7 days, our children are going to sing it. Stop it. I'm going to slap you. Anyway. We're getting a little punchy over here, kids.
Awesome Dude 2001. Greetings from North Carolina. Bojangles is waiting for you on your next visit. I miss you, Bojangles. I love you. Your biscuits are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I miss me some Bojangles. Let's see. Yeah. Kenny Loomis. It's hard. This is referring back to like buying the deals and stuff like that. It's hard to buy them because sometimes things could happen, like what happened with Thomas Cook. And Thomas Cook went under when people were abroad, and the government had to get involved to get people home. I mean, that's one of the things, and I think that's going to be a knock-on effect because then people are going to be worried: are they going to go out of business? Then I'm not going to buy, which just kind of perpetuates
makes the problem bigger.
Yeah, it just snowballs.
Yeah.
Oh, Bojangles, Cookout, Cheerwine, missed them all. Well, Terry, don't you guys have a thing of Cheerwine?
You have to have Cheerwine down there.
Or is Mike? No, not necessarily in Texas. But Mark had a 6-pack or something he found. Nikos, Nico, I love the shirts. Going to pick some up for summer travels. Thanks, Nikos. Cool. Nico, we appreciate it. We know shipping abroad is a bit pricey. We're just using the rates they have. So if you're from the U.S., that's $5 shipping for everything. So you have.
Okay. I don't know what that
I would like to invite you to my house in Rome. Thank you, Pancazione.
Grazie.
Thanks. We appreciate it. Grazie mille. And we'll be back. And we'll be back in Rome. We will be back. Don't you worry. We'll do what we can to bring tourism back to Italy because we know it's going to be hurting. A lot of people are. I mean, even though maybe it could be more people die in other countries and stuff like this, but the idea probably for Europe and Italy will be this for the next few years, and so that'll probably keep people from going. And though this has hurt people all over the world, so it's kind of interesting. Oh, Allison in Moscow, Idaho. There you go.
There was a Moscow.
Oh yeah, that's where the University of Idaho is, I think.
Really?
Right?
No.
Yeah, no. There's the university that's here because my buddy Megan is from there, and there was a university, and she always had like the stuff. So, anyway.
Jennifer asked, "Could I wear a Wolters World shirt for a charity walk?" Absolutely.
Yes, of course you can. Hey, once you have our shirts, it's your shirt. You do you. I'm just glad you could, you think of wearing us in a thing like that. That's really nice. Let's see.
New Jersey Seahawks fan came across your channel about a month ago, searching for videos on PEI. Wife and I planned on going in June, but plans going on hold for now.
Mm-hmm. No white pants. No white pants.
No white pants. Oh, that's right.
That's the dirt. The dirt.
It's like clay.
Clay on the beaches. It's gorgeous. You got to go to the beaches, but. Yeah, whatever you wear, buy some throwaway swim trunks because they will never be the same.
So quaint and adorable, and oh my!
And don't worry, there's no moose on PEI. There might be a moose on the bridge you drive over, but there's no moose in PEI.
I was gonna say there was one on the bridge. I know. It might have gotten to the other side.
They started populating the whole island. No, they get them off of there. I've had a lot of people write us about that. No problem, Lou. I'm glad we can answer your questions. Our kids only speak English right now, though they're learning Spanish, which is nice. But we'll get them there, don't you worry. Let's see. Oh, we're jumping around. Oh, the danger bloggers. We answered that one, buddy.
No, I think that's just.
Oh, another person said that. Oh,
no, I think that you're.
University of Idaho. Boom.
Sorry. I'm an SEC girl. You want to talk about SEC? We can do that all day.
Do you consider Texas A&M really SEC? Do you consider Mizzou really SEC?
No.
Well, then, I guess we can't talk Mizzou or SEC because they're part of the SEC.
How we beat Ms. Pooh. All right.
Let's see. Oh, jump around.
It is. It's jumping. All right.
And so Tanya Collier, I'm from Australia and can't get toilet paper at all. Do you have the same problem? So where we're at, they've actually limited it, so you can only buy like one thing of it at a time. And same thing with eggs, and it was like 2 breads and stuff like that. So we don't necessarily have that problem like we did. We did have a problem before, and that's why it's really important people don't hoard it. If you did hoard and you're feeling bad about it, maybe ask your neighbors, anybody needs something, like, hey, I can drop it off to you and help out. Because that's the thing. You see these people that are buying like 500 rolls of toilet paper. And the thing is I'm glad eBay and Amazon are cracking down on these things. These people are just like, oh, we're selling toilet paper online for $5. $350 for shipping because they're trying to price gouge. I mean, these kind of people, stores that do this kind of stuff like that, they piss me off. Because those people you got to shame. Be like, look, they're price gouge. You're taking advantage of the situation. You know, the guy in was it Kentucky or Tennessee or whatever that had like the 17,000 things of hand sanitizer. You're a horrible person. You're a horrible person. You're trying to, make money off of people's, misery.
I saw a thing.
Sorry, I get really riled up on that stuff.
I saw a thing that Costco is not taking back toilet paper, hand sanitizer, any other high demand items.
Nor should they.
Because, people went and bought gobs of them and tried to sell them and good for eBay and everybody for blocking that stuff. But you know what you need to do is you need to go take it to your local homeless shelter, to a local food bank, all sorts of other places. Hand sanitizer can go to your hospitals. Take stuff if hoarders need to give.
Yeah. Thank you, Angela, for the love. I'm glad Minnesota does love us some Walters.
Good morning, Def
Leppard rules rock! Rock star. Thank you for the super chat. Where in Europe has the best nightlife in your opinion? Barcelona. Spain, nightlife. You can't handle it. I can't handle it. When I was young, I couldn't handle it. You'll be like, I'll party till 6. Like, dude, we party till 9 a.m. You're like, damn! Like, it's just, Spain is awesome for nightlife, but Barcelona, seriously, with the beach and the stuff and the atmosphere, great nightlife. Berlin also has great nightlife too. Berlin's got great, really if you want clubbing nightlife and that kind of stuff is great. But then you have different kinds of night. Like if you like live music kind of stuff, I think in Europe, Ireland's the best because you have the live music so many places. And it usually starts like 9 or 10 o'clock at night and goes till about midnight. So that's really kind of cool. So hope you can help out. Brian Boyd, Pac-12 all day. Is that still around?
What? Stop that. Silly.
So Carlos Jaime Andrade Arias. Please visit Barichara in Colombia, most beautiful old town. So, right now, if we have to cancel and we'll have to move our trips, I think what we'll rebook is our trip for the Christmas time. We're going to be going down to Colombia and going down there. So that was one of our things. So originally, our plan was to go to Colombia for Thanksgiving this year, but now things have been changed around because now we're just seeing like what do we need to move or what can we move. So, but we will be down there. Don't you worry about that. Grant Rennie, price gouges in the UK are being shamed in the USA too, as they should, because you're taking and that's what I'm saying. It's like remember these people, remember what they're doing, because you know what, their families might need help sometime, and we should still help them, even though they price gouge do this stuff. We should still be good people and help all people, but pointing these things out, because here's the thing: is people remember that you did that. If you're a store that did that, people remember it. When this is over and there's other stores to go to those other stores that didn't price gouge. You help out those people that didn't price gouge. And those kind of things.
Heather W. says some people are adopting a restaurant worker, etc., to help them through. That's a beautiful idea. I love that. You know what? As a former server and bartender in a restaurant, I could have been adopted when I was working, let alone going through something like this. That's a huge thing. Oh, Greece. Nico says Greece has hands down with the nightlife. Greece does have some really good nightlife. It's just that usually we're there with our family, and so we don't get to do the nightlifing.
I know.
But yeah, Greeks can party all day long, all night long, with all sorts of crazy.
Yes. Yeah. A little more Rocky, please. Let's see. Wow, Paul Tipton. I haven't seen any toilet paper on the shelves for 2 weeks, nor hand sanitizer. I'm glad I bought some just before the panic buying. Yeah, and I think this is the thing is we've had, people know that these lockdowns or stay in shelter in place kind of stuff were coming. So you've had a lot more people that have been preparing longer. So there's less people that are kind of out. But the people that were panic buying and going to buy tons of stuff, they caused what's called shock buy. And those people that they went to the store and they noticed that, wait, there's only 3 things of toilet paper left. Do I need to buy some now? I'm like, I have some, but now I'm worried. And so they're shocked into overbuying. So I'm not sure what's going on. And so you do have that. So you got to be careful. So I'm glad you got some before you go. We've got an 18-pack downstairs, so we got 18 rolls, and so our normal thing. So there is that. Sorry.
Somebody said the people who are taking advantage, I wish them the worst dysentery ever.
Yeah, so they have to use it all.
Well, it would be an appropriate and fitting kind of consequence, wouldn't it? Let's not wish things, but Grant Rennie, thanks for the banana. Grant loves to send us crazy little super chats. Thanks for that. All right. Do you guys sell baseball caps and bracelets? I'll pit myself out in your gear and do a big marathon when this is all done. No, we don't have caps and bracelets, but we have shirts and jackets. We have the little bags, like the cinch sack sort of bag. But
water bottle.
And we have a water bottle, which actually I love. I don't leave home without a water bottle. I haven't in years, and that's a big thing for me. But yes, we have that. So, all right. Mark and Jocelyn, is a day trip from Boston to New York possible, or is it better to stay for a night? It's cheaper if you just do it during the day, but there's a lot to. You can do
it on the train. I've actually done it before.
But you need more than.
You need more time.
You need more time.
But let's say you have an Airbnb in Boston. You can get up early in the morning, get that early train down. You can go spend all day, then take the evening train back. You can do it. I'd recommend spending more time, but if you only have one day, it can be done.
Yeah, several people are commenting about the toilet thing, the toilet paper thing, and saying we use water, use soap and paper towels or towels and wash. You know what? This is one of those times that we had a whole conversation the other day about how when we got back from Japan, I begged Mark for my birthday to buy me a Japanese toilet seat. He did not. And
I'm sorry.
Do you hear him? He's yelling, "I'm sorry." I think that bidets are a wonderful thing, especially in this mad time.
And we get one, and she'll still say, "But you didn't get it from forever."
No, I won't. If you get me do you know why they're so amazing? Not only are they like a bidet, but they some of them play music or water sounds so that the noise is
because
muffled.
in Japan you have very small spaces, so you always hear what people are doing, so that it helps muffle the sound.
But you know what else they have? They have heated seats.
Oh, that was nice.
Do you hear the angels?
It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah,
I actually filmed the first time I went on a Japanese toilet, but Josh did not let me put the video on. So it's actually like me holding my camera like this, going, "Okay, I'm pushing this button," and I'm like, "Woo!" So maybe I should put that out just for some
for some levity right now. I'm going to allow it now.
I gotta find those.
That's how that situation has gone. Let's hope it's not on that fried
fried one. That's why I have a lot of stuff from anyway. Hui, hello from India. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Planning to hike the Torres del Paine in December. Awesome. I have 3 weeks to solo backpack before then. Should I choose Chile or Argentina? Thanks for keeping the travel spirit. If you could somehow do both, I would do both. You can go with Aerolíneas Argentina or LAN, and you can fly back and forth. There's also some Avianca. Well, Avianca, I don't think they have directs between the two. There's a lot of airlines that go between them. That's really tough. I would probably do, if you have 2 weeks and you only do one of the countries, I would probably do Argentina, just because you get Buenos Aires and you can see a few other places, go to Patagonia and you can go explore more. I would probably do Argentina over Chile. Chile is really great too, and you're going along the coast and stuff like that, but I like the north of Chile to go see stuff.
But Argentina has, they both have really good wine.
Yes,
you won't point out the wine.
And like Mendoza, I'll be honest, I was never a big wine drinker until I went to Mendoza in Argentina, and I just learned about wine and fell in love with wine there. So that's a really nice thing there. So, and I also lived in Argentina, so I'm a little biased that way. So I would probably go to Argentina over that one.
Heather says our local micro distillery has switched over to making hand sanitizer. I'll be their gin customer for life. Heather, why don't you just, if you can write and tell me what that micro distillery is, if I can find their gin, I will be their gin customer for life too.
Yeah, and we will gladly promote them.
That's some good stuff
there. That's nice.
But you know what? Instead of focusing on the hoarders and the people who are, price gouging, let's focus on the micro distilleries who are making hand sanitizer. and doing something good for our environment.
Focus on the positive.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. That's what I love about now. You see, we've gotten past the bad stuff. Now we're talking about fun travel stuff and giving some levity in there and things like that. So it's
like
really
toilets.
nice. Like toilets and
potty humor's always good.
Everyone loves a good toilet joke. Come on. All right. So wait, it just did jump on us again. Yes, Bob Beagle Rock 1013 with the Japanese toilet. It's like nothing else. That's true.
It is like truly the greatest thing ever. Sahil says the shower spray can be used like a water jet. Okay,
yes,
everybody get in the shower hose. He didn't see
hashtag shower hose for life.
You know, if some of them. Oh my gosh, can I tell you about the best one? We ate in this restaurant, and I went down to use the toilet. And I opened the door and I screamed because when I opened the door, the seat flew up, like the lid popped up, and it was like automatic.
Where was that?
It was in Japan.
It was in Japan. Okay.
It was in not Tokyo. It was in Kyoto. I screamed and they came running because I don't know. Things don't move in the bathroom. They're not supposed to. But anyway, it popped up and they, I realized what it was and we started laughing and the people were laughing with me. But some of them have sprays built in to make it smell good. There's the Japanese,
there's a deodorant one, there's a perfume one, there's a button that's for women only.
Yeah,
so there's all kinds of
different sprays on different areas. It's brilliant.
So I want to give a shout out to Sampa141, writing my thesis, hey there fellow marketer, and listening to your stream, a nice combo. I know how much fun writing theses are, dissertations, and just know that my heart is out there for you. And I'm glad we can bring a little levity and a little fun to your day while you're writing that, because fun stuff. I do know. Let's see.
Okay, what is this? Dizzy Lizard just said this, and I've seen it all over all of a sudden. It's like a new thing. People are apparently clogging up toilet systems because they're flushing.
They're flushing the wipes.
Supposed to be flushed.
Yes, that's one thing you should know. Though your flushable wipe is flushable, they do not want you to flush it. It causes a fatberg and actually blocks up the pipes. So it's a really big thing that you don't flush those. Okay.
And also, like your Clorox wipes and stuff.
Yeah,
don't flush those either.
Don't flush those
either.
In the trash. Put it in the trash.
Toilet paper.
Put a line in your trash can so you can throw them there and stuff like that.
Poop. That's it. That's all that goes in the toilet. What is this? Well, I mean, to me, that's common sense.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm more common sensey than others.
Maybe I'm
so smart.
That's right. That's what I say. Hi, Nehru. Why'd you hit my ponytail? Rakusko 33. What do you think of Peruvian cuisine? It is fantastic. Alpaca is wonderful. I did have cuy, guinea pig, and it tasted like pork chop and dark meat turkey, but a little bit greasier.
That's exactly what it tastes like.
And I could eat it just fine until I really started thinking about what I was eating. And my kids both had, pet guinea pigs in their school, so it was just like weird. But the kids tried it and they're like, not really for me. They liked alpaca though. Liam knocked down 2 alpaca steaks back to back.
It was alpaca.
So you weren't with me that time. Iron Brew or Argentinian wine? Oh man.
Oh,
why must we make choices in life?
I don't drink soda very often, so for me, it's the wine. Hands down, no questions.
What if I made like a Cali Macho with Iron Brew and Argentina wine?
What you're gonna You're gonna put those together?
I don't have any Iron Brew on me right now, so. Anyway.
Listen, I like to be creative with the food and the drink, but that's a creation I'm not quite ready for.
Let's see. What did you do? Plumbers are super busy right now. Yeah. Yes, Jocelyn is Greek Orthodox. Yes, I do like whiskey.
We like whiskey.
Jennifer, yes. That we made sure we picked some up before.
We have a bottle.
We've got we have a Gentleman Jack and we've got a Woodford Reserve.
Oh, but that Woodford Reserve is like there's like that much in there. That's from months and months ago. Well, I'll finish that in like one cocktail.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean Youngs, how did you guys end up at home for lockdown and not on some island? We would have been on an island, but we decided to cancel our trip because we thought it was not prudent to travel this time. So we actually should be in the Cayman Islands right now, but we're home. So.
Hey, here it is. Heather put that gin link. Remember we were talking about the gin, the micro distillery making hand sanitizer instead of gin. It's called Ampersand Gin from Duncan, British Columbia. and they are delivering free to frontline workers in hospitals. Also heard distillers here in Vancouver are doing the same thing. Yay for Ampersand Gin, and if anybody sees that when we're allowed out to buy the liquor again, that's the gin you should buy.
Yeah.
All right.
Jimmy UK, all schools and colleges are closed till September in the UK, apparently.
September.
Well, because that's when the new semester begins.
I
Because
know.
you figure the things are going to be closed at least for 3 or 4 weeks. Then you have like 2 or 3 weeks left of school for this. Like, might as well call it a day and keep people home to help, slow it down. Thank you, Gran, for sending me some Iron Brew when the borders open again. I appreciate it. Kali Macho. Thanks, Michael. Yep. Okay, so some other things on here. Oh, you two are Baba Yaga. You two are so sweet with each other. Are you still on your honeymoon? Every day with Jocelyn's like a honeymoon. I'm just the most blessed, wonderful, happy person ever.
This is what I deal with every day.
Yes. See, so it's like a honeymoon for me, and
love him.
Your annoying kid bothering you all the time for her.
Hang on, there was something I wanted to answer that was right near that one, so don't move. Where'd it go?
Favorite food from the place? So
favorite
right card
food.
4. Do you have a favorite food from the places you've traveled to? Yes, I do. And Jocelyn, what is my favorite food that we get from traveling?
Bigoli con arna.
Which is a fat noodle, pasta noodle with the duck ragu sauce. It's popular in Vicenza and Veneto region. I love it. Every time I go there, I have to have it.
And
it's fantastic.
I always sneak home a package of Bigoli to in my suitcase and surprise him with it later. I'm at this point he now knows that I've taken them home with me, but for me, well, Greek food in general, but that's because I grew up eating it, right? But I love mousse de maracujá. It's passion fruit mousse. And you know what? That's something, if I have any passion fruit stuff, I should make that. And it's super easy to make, but that's one of my favorites. I could eat that by the bucketful.
So Jennifer Benzie, thank you for being a member. Thank you for commenting again. Do you like Scottish whiskies? Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
Would you do a taste test of Scottish whiskies if you were sent it? Yes, we would. We would do it during the live feed, no problem.
Oh, we should do that.
We should, because we gotta have to do some more fun stuff.
You know what we have? We have tiny little bottles of liquor from Lithuania. Here's the problem. The last time I drank in Lithuania, I got so drunk. I'm like next to
so drunk
nothing.
She thought she was pregnant.
I did.
And our friend's like, no, you just got a hangover. No, I think this is something like, no, you got a hangover.
I was so sick.
You know how you say pregnancy test in Lithuanian? I don't, but our friends did.
But here's why. Can I just explain? There is something logical, and this is a good thing for women to know. Sometimes when you travel, especially if you're going abroad and things like that, it'll mess up your monthly period. Like it might be later or earlier or whatever. For me, it often comes later. So I was late. And then I was fine when I woke up in the morning. I felt great. Everything was great. And then we went to lunch, and out of nowhere, I got hot and clammy, and I was just immediately sick to my stomach. I went to the bathroom, and I thought I was going to be sick. And I have this thing about vomiting in toilets that are not my own. I can't really do it. I went back to the table, and I was like, Mark, I think you need to get me a room, because we were in this restaurant in a hotel, and our friends are like, oh my God, you look terrible. What's wrong with you? And I go, I think I'm pregnant. I haven't been nauseous like this. And like, it's just, everything feels like the pregnancy sickness. So Alvy and the boys went out to go find me a pregnancy test, and they're all like, yay! And
the boys like, we're going to have a baby brother, sister.
Ernesta and I, she's like, come on, I'm going to take you outside. Let's just take a little walk. And she just took me on some back streets, and she's like, it's going to be okay. She's soothing me and going through all the womanly things, right? And they're like, yeah, babies! And then I peed on the stick, and we weren't having one, and they were all depressed, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, and we were all like, and then they're like, we told you it was the whiskey. I think we had the homemade
It was
whiskey.
moonshine. It wasn't even whiskey. It was
it was good.
Insane.
Because it was like, one for you, one for me, and then the third one, so you don't fall over for the third leg.
But I had 3 over the course of like 5 hours. I mean, that shouldn't make me sick, right?
Yeah, but it does stuff. There was a question up here I wanted to go, oh, Def Leppard Rock Rules. Thank you very much for another super chat. That was awesome. You best nightlife in South America. Since I already asked about Europe, Copenhagen nightlife was awful, by the way. Dude, like $10 a drink? Yeah, I wouldn't go out either.
I don't think I would ever expect that to be a good one.
So South American nightlife, you will have, it's a late night nightlife. And the thing is, in South America, people have this joy of life when they go out and they party and have a good time. And it can be very different wherever you are in South America. That's why I always tell people, like, look, South America is not the same everywhere. It can be very different. But like for me, if you're going out in Buenos Aires, they've got some of the awesomest clubs, but don't expect to like do anything until like they open up till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember when I used to live in Argentina, we would go to the outskirts and they'd have a club that was an entire block and it was outside with all this stuff. It was just amazing. So I'm a big fan of Buenos Aires clubs. You can have a good time in Rio. Sao Paulo's got some fancy stuff. If you go to Cartagena, it can be some good times there too. So you can have that. Peru, Ecuador, not as good for the nightlife as Brazil or Argentina, I feel. Chile's got some good stuff in Santiago, but I would go Buenos Aires or one of the big cities in Brazil, if that helps out. Susan Marie brings good news. Illinois has decided liquor stores provide essential items and are open.
Yes,
good job, Illinois. That is nice to see.
Oh, you know what else is on that list? The pot stores.
Oh yeah, the pop stores.
Yeah, because, and I'm not kidding. I read this thing in the Chicago Tribune yesterday, and it literally said the alcohol stores and the cannabis dispensaries, because literally whoever wrote this was really funny, because it said, since everyone has to be at home and deal with homeschooling their kids, they are necessary. I was like, we got to get high to take our kids. Whoever wrote it had a great sense of humor. Oh my gosh.
So Dipayan Gosh, personal question: do you make more money from teaching or from YouTube business? My real job. That's why. That's why I'm making 85 business videos the next 2 weeks for my class, and not 85 travel videos, because that's my real job. Like that's what gives us insurance, that lets us have the house. Wolters World and the YouTube stuff just supports itself. So that's nice. We get to support ourselves, and the people that become members and our patrons. Thank you so much, Michael. Where'd it go, Michael? Michael Wilson. Thank you for becoming a member here. And for those who don't know, we actually do live feeds just for our members once or twice a month. Just to let them know that we're there, and we get to have much more of a personal kind of conversation. So instead of us going through one by one as they go by here, and you're only getting a little bit of time, we actually ask questions beforehand. What would you like to talk about? We do some research so we can actually spend like 10 or 15 minutes talking on the topics, and it becomes much more of a friendship kind of thing. We really enjoy doing that.
Yeah, actually,
like we did that for St. Patrick's Day. We sat here and had drinks with our patrons and our members.
You had a drink, I had water, because I'm still watching what I eat.
That's liquid. It's not eating. It's
empty calories. Although we're getting to the point where Mama might have to start drinking soon.
And we needed a drink. So there's that. So thank you, Michael. It's really nice of you, man. Thank you so much. Okay, some other questions. Oh yeah, so Finland, Napukiro Jen was chosen the best gin in the world a couple years ago, and they're actually making the sanitizer there too. Yes. And there's a lot of companies doing that. So if you see companies that are doing good, give them a shout out on your social media. Let people know, like, hey, this company is really doing stuff to make a difference, to try to help out. That's what really is really nice to have. So there's that. So thank
Jennifer
you.
stays near the Glenlivet distillery.
Oh, we
Not
love
a bad
Glenlivet.
place to be.
That is so good. Oh man, dude, my butt. Oh.
All right.
You rock. That's good stuff there. Let's see. Will you guys be traveling anywhere? October 11th, I will be going to Lourdes, France, and I'll be departing from O'Hare. October. I don't know what we'll be doing. I don't have my schedule with me right now. Hopefully, we'll be going somewhere. Who knows? I like Nader 1. Tom Brady did what everyone in New England does: move to Florida to retire. Yep. Yeah. I
retire.
Yeah. I thought jokes for that last time were hilarious.
Oh goodness.
Oh
All
yeah.
Right. Where in the world would you rather be quarantined? Kathleen.
Wherever my wifey and family are. Because that's one thing, is you got to think of these families that sometimes one of the parent has to self-quarantine or something like that, and they can't be with their families. I mean, we have friends that are nurses and stuff like that, and one of them posted, like, look, how do I explain to my 2-year-old they can't snuggle mama because I'm trying not to pass it on? I mean, It's tough. I'm just glad we're all together, not separate during this, because some people are separated from their families, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And our prayers go out to all those people that are affected, those people that have passed away from this, all the people whose jobs are getting lost, all those kind of things. Thank you so much to everyone that's still able to do stuff, and we're staying home and stuff like that. Just want to say thank you. And so thank you, Kathleen Examus, for that comment. I hope you're doing well this morning. You're enjoying your morning.
Where would you want to be quarantined, though? I mean, truly, like...
I would want to be at home because I know my home. I have my stuff here and things like that. But if my house burned down and my parents' house burned down and there was nowhere to go and an alien came and said, "We will teleport you anywhere."
An alien came to teleport you.
Yeah, we don't have teleportation yet, so that I know of. Though I saw some stuff on YouTube, but anyway, I think it sounds weird, but I probably want to be in Italy because the people care about each other. Though they have a lot of problems there. That's one of those things.
I don't know. France, maybe Italy.
Yeah.
Brazil. You know what? I'd want to be somewhere where we have people. Even if we couldn't see them, like if we were in Brazil, we would have mamai and papai. Mm-hmm. You know, knowing that there are people that love us and care about us. Like if we were in Italy, we have that, those things maybe. Yeah. All right.
So anyway, Sam FW, long-time viewer, long-time commenter. Thanks, Sam. Best city for multi-generational travel. So when it comes to multi-generational travel, that's grandma and grandpa, parents and kids, or maybe it's grandparents and kids. One thing is no matter where you're going to go, you got to have stuff that appeals to everyone. So that's one thing I always say, like if you're looking at like the Cancuns and the Arubas and the Jamaicas and stuff like that, there's something for everybody at those locations. You can do things like that because there can be the people that want to lay out and be at the beach or go do activities or go see some culture. You can do those things. In terms of Europe, I think for multi-generational, Italy and France are really good because there's the food for the foodies, there's the history for the history people, there's the interacting with people for the young people, there's the going out. So I like those, and because we go when we've been to all those places with my parents too, so we can help out.
Have you been to Saragossa?
I have not been
south of Brazil.
In that south part of Brazil. Sorry, Alexander. So Michael Wilson, dang, I should have subscribed earlier. I was stuck in my Heathrow hotel that evening. Well, I'm glad you're there now. So if you get stuck again somewhere, hopefully we'll be able to help you out. So there is that. Who we exercise during the live stream?
I was just reading
no one needs to see me bouncing around and I stop moving, but I keep bouncing. No one needs to see that. Nobody needs to see that.
Oh, gosh. All right. So somebody is asking if you should visit people when you yourself have no symptoms. No, you shouldn't. And here's why. You still may be carrying this virus. They are saying that it takes anywhere from 2 to 14 days before you show symptoms. And some people's symptoms are so mild that they don't even know that they have it. So you may be spreading it to someone else. That's why, we're having all of this stuff. If you knew you were sick and you could just stay home, that's fine. But some people are not knowing it. And it's really important because you go somewhere and you sneeze and one little droplet is carrying that little germ, and then somebody touches it and rubs their eye, and guess what? That's now in their eye, and
it could develop something.
That's that, So
and Ellen Q's our prayers out for your family and your grandma. And she says, my grandma's really sick on her last legs, it seems.
Oh my God.
And it's all happened during this. Her care home are allowing us to visit, but it has to be with gloves and apron and one person at a time. And this is the thing is the old folks' homes right now, they can't have visitors. They can't see people. They can't even go out to dinner with their friends and stuff like that. It's a super lonely time. So if you can call, do what you can to be in contact with them because it's a lonely time and it's a horrible time. And Ellen, our prayers with you and your family. And I can't imagine what you're going through. And I'm so sorry. So there's that.
There are a lot of, that's kind of crossed my mind a lot that, especially with our elderly, that they're sort of stuck anyway. And now to not even be able to have their family and friends visit, it's got to be demoralizing. We all have this. How many octogenarians do you know get on YouTube and do live chats and get to have a sense of community? That's a huge thing, so yeah.
So Mitchell Franco, that need words of inspiration to finish my capstone. You can do it. Just sit down and write the dang project. You'll get it done. It'll be done. And believe me, the feeling you have when you finish that project, whether it's a dissertation, thesis, capstone, and you click send, it's like the weight just disappears from your shoulders. So, buddy, you'll get it done. You can do it. All kinds of stuff. Oh, where did it go? Oh, we jumped around.
Huge jump.
It just huge jumped us all over. Sorry.
Here we are. Sahil says Kathleen. Iceland is where he would. Iceland would be a good place to hole up for quarantine.
But Sahil makes a good point. If someone covers all the expenses.
Yeah.
Also, our video today where it was in Delft, the Netherlands, that we put on there, that was from Sahil. So thanks, Sahil, for that, man. That was awesome of you to share that. And if you have videos that you want us to share of like good humanity, fighting through, do send it to us at woltersworld@gmail.com, and we'll try to share some out here to help out. Okay. So there is that.
Hang on, slow down for just a second.
Just trying to help says, has travel changed forever? No, travel has not changed forever. Travel will change for a short period of time, short term, medium term. It'll be back to the way it was long term. If you think about it, how 9/11 changed things. We do have more security checks, and I'm going to guess we'll have more health things. Well, maybe you'll have to have your yellow, booklet saying the shots you've had and things like that. You might need that. I don't know. But it's not going to change forever. This is not the end of the world, people. It's not. It's
just going to be a different world.
It's a different world. But we'll be back to traveling and seeing stuff, and the world will be there for us to enjoy.
Mark, have you traveled for NFL games? Best experiences and venues, if you have. I think I've been to more NFL games than you have.
No. I've been to 3 preseason games of the Rams and 1 regular season games of the Rams when they're in St. Louis.
I've been to just Rams games, 6 or 7 regular seasons. But the best one was when we got to see Todd Gurley score his first touchdown. That was his first NFL touchdown. For me, that was the coolest thing ever. We had a big sign and we were kind of in the end zone. We were pretty high up, but we had a big Georgia G that said "Go Gurley."
It says,
I'm a Todd Gurley. If you happen to be out there, big
it says
fan.
I'm a girly girl. That's what
it said. It said,
I think we saw because there wasn't too many people there at Warmos. He kind of looked up on our thing and gave a heads up kind of thing and went to his game. But sadly, he no longer plays for the Rams.
No,
he's now part of the Falcons.
Happily, he's back home in Atlanta where he belongs. We're very happy to have him back in the great state of Georgia. All right.
So let's see. Jumping around again. Sorry, people. Let's see. Sorry.
Hang on. And I can't understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, see, I'm sorry, it keeps jumping around because you guys probably see just a continuous thing like this. We'll see some and we'll pause it, then we'll put it down and it'll just start jumping around.
My mom is stuck in her home. They like it when you drop stuff off for them. Yes, call your parents.
Yeah.
If you live in the same town, take them some food every now and then. It's better for us younger people to go out to the store than for them to have to go to the store. So think of that.
And you might want to hug your mom and say you love her. No, put the food down. Way better, touch the window at the same time from either side of the window pane, but you can't be there. And that goes into another heartbreaking thing. Kenny Loomis. I have a friend who works at a children's oncology unit. They can't even have their parents there.
Oh
that makes me want to cry right there.
That's really awful.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, Sam, we're going to go on to a different topic so I don't start tearing up. Differences in high school and college study abroad. High school study abroad, you're living with a family and you're much more integrated into the actual culture of the country. Whereas when you study abroad in college, you're more like living on your own as a person living in that town kind of stuff, which sounds different. But I feel like people that want to learn a language, you learn the language way better living with a family. You understand the culture a lot more because people explain the culture to you. Because when you go study abroad, in college, you're like you might have an apartment or you might live in a dorm, and you're hanging out with other people your own age, and they give you some kind of influence, but they don't help you understand how important the Simpsons are to the society and stuff like that. So it's a very different kind of experience. They're both great experiences, and I highly recommend them. But for the more cultural enriching one, I think it's more impactful ones in high school. In college, it's really still a great thing, but it's still like you're going to college and taking classes, so it's not as big of a culture jump, I think, for a lot of people.
Oh, Sikovo. I don't know your name. Can't read that. I am quarantined in Iceland. Not fun. Snowing every day. We can't go in the countryside. You're not allowed outside. I mean, I feel like Iceland is the exact right place for social distancing because everything is so far away, and there's the populace is, if you're not in Reykjavik, it's pretty small towns and things. That's kind of sucky.
So, Miss Ellie Jelly Belly, I'm glad I could help. She says, as another student sitting at home trying to study too, you yelling, get the damn thing done actually helped. So I'm glad, and get the damn thing done and move on. And I'm going to have to do that for my students because I'll be doing videos for them and live feeds for them. It's like, look, just sit down and push through because you know what? Being at home and doing homework, it'll help a lot of the kids out there just to have something to do. Just to take their mind off all these kind of things. Because kids get bored of video games and Netflix as well, and then they start fighting each other. So it's better to start trying to get them back in the normal kind of schedule. Yeah, okay. Ann says, that's what I don't get. So many people don't care because it only hits old and weak people. They don't understand that those people have family members too. And that's just it. You're seeing the news starting to put things out that younger people are getting sick as well. And they're getting really sick. And people that are like, you'll see social media say, look, you're sicker than you're ever going to be. You might not die, but you're going to be in pain. And the thing is, the media had saw the time for the last couple months. It's like, it's only killing the old people, it seems like. And there's only the old people. And it's I'm like,
BS.
That's, people, it's only people that are almost going to die. Like, people are dying, period. It doesn't matter if they're old or young.
And who cares if they're old or young? I mean, every life is worth living. And you know what? When we lose our older generation, we're losing this firsthand experience of history. And that's a huge thing. And, that's part of why I'm doing this blog, so that I can preserve like just this idea for our descendants, right? And when we lose older people, we lose that firsthand touch with what's happened before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Miranda Moynihan, thank you very much for the super chat. How did you get the confidence to post your weight loss video, Mark? And is it weird to see yourself back in footage all the time for both of you? It's funny looking back at the older videos. I'm like, we were so young. I was so less bald then, or something like that. Or a lot of times it gets me when it's the kids, because I'll put videos together where we're traveling around. And so we've gone to places like, 5 or 6 times. And so I'll have pictures of the kids are babies. And then I'll have it when they're, 5, and then toddlers or whatever. And then now Caleb's a teenager, and so like there's all these things. So I'll have part of the video be like Liam learning to walk in Paris, and then there's Liam like playing soccer in Paris. You're like, it just gets you right there. Yeah. So there's that. What about for you, looking back?
Yeah, I'm always like, dang, I need a facelift. No, that's a joke. I don't really need a facelift, but I mean, I do look back and I'm like, the kids are what get me.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing when you look back on the children more so than us.
Yeah. And Miranda, in terms of the weight loss thing, so I've been taking these pictures every day actually, and I've actually have been doing like a word a day, but our backup hard drive fried, and my other backup, which had the chips with the actual pictures of me saying it, I can't find it. So since I can't find it, I can't put it out. I just had the pictures for some of the stuff for most of the year. And so I put that together, and I thought, you know what? There's so much bad news. There's so much negativity out there now. People needed something positive to show that, look, even these times when you're stuck at home, there's things you can do, little things you can do that can make a big difference. And so I thought it'd be a good thing to put that video out to show people, like, you know what? You can be fat and still be fat, but you're still working towards something. And it's just little things you can do. And for a lot of us that are home now, we're starting to tackle the big projects we never did. Like I cleaned out our garage, which hasn't been cleaned out for 5 years. I went through the storage unit in our basement, our basement storage part of the basement, and organized and found all this stuff. And I found a power drill. I'm like, where the hell's this been? Like, it's like
what I had from when I was in college.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. So we want to be more positive, so we try to do that.
I want to give out a shout out right now to Mark Finley. Mark is one of our members, and he and his wife Terry both are, and they're wonderful people. But he is also a moderator, and Mark isn't making a lot of comments right now, but he is he's moderating a lot. He's doing a lot behind the scenes, taking off nasty messages for us, and so I just want to say, Mark, I really appreciate that.
And if he does take your stuff down, you might not have meant it as being offensive or something like that, because I've talked to him about, it's like, look, if anybody goes like too mean about it, or they're going to go too political with stuff, like, look, just put them in a timeout, just delete their stuff, and we'll do that. So it's not meant to offend you, it's just to try to keep this a very positive kind of thing.
Yes.
So let's see.
All right.
Ellen Hughes, thank you very much for the super chat. And again, our prayers with you and your grandma and your whole family. I know that's not really helpful right now, but just know that we're thinking about you. So let's see. Sam FW. Man, Sam, I'm going to answer a lot of your questions today for some reason. Would you recommend going to a place where you take the language in school? Yes, I do. that is one of the best ways to go in situ and do that. Like my buddy, she used to run this thing called Fast Forward Institute. It's in Sao Paulo and other parts of Brazil. And so you go and they can actually help you set up to live with a family for a week, take the classes and the kind of stuff, and you really get a cultural experience and learn the language. I find that works really, really wonderful to have that. And then you see it out in person. Because one of the things is when we travel so much in the summers, I've always told John's like, I'd love for us to stay someplace for like a month. And then like have 2 weeks of language class, like Italian or Spanish or something like that. And then we spend 2 more weeks traveling around that country to practice it. And so, it's one of those things we were looking into. And who knows, maybe we'll do that in Vicenza next year.
Yeah, but the thing is, Mark can take a 2-week language class and be pretty conversational. I can take a 2-week language class and remember 5 words.
But that's 5 words you didn't know before, so it's a positive.
It's just, hey, will you turn the kettle on?
I'll refill it.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Mark can do that a lot more easily than I can. It's a gift. I mean, he's just amazing with that.
You're my gift, baby.
That's right. I am your gift and you are mine. All right. Sorry. All right. Rakusco, 33, love your channel. What motivated you to do travel videos? So, Mark sort of started doing this when he was living in Portugal and I was living in the States, and we were dating and we were going to get married. We were engaged and we were. I was going to move to Portugal, so he started making some videos so that I would understand cultural things and how to get around, and just showed me parts of the city that I hadn't seen before and some little things like that. So there was that. But then in our dating during that period of time, he had read this thing in a guidebook about a city that was supposed to be just amazing. And he was in Italy, right? And he was with his friends and he's like, you guys, this thing sounds so amazing. And all his friends are like, I've never heard of that place. But yeah, dude, go ahead. Check it out. See what you think. And Mark went and it was terrible. And he's like, that kind of pushed him because, people get limited amounts of time and money to take a trip. You don't want to waste that on a place that kind of sucks. So that's what he did.
And not all guidebooks take money and stuff like that. Some don't take any money. Like Lonely Planet's very much like we don't take any benefits to get free stuff to write better reviews. But the thing is, there's so many travel bloggers and bloggers out there now that, how many times you hear people say, this is the best city to visit in Mexico. This is our favorite place in Mexico or wherever. And they're just taking it because they got money for that. I mean, that's why we don't get sponsorships and stuff like that. Because we tell people, like,
we're not big on the lying.
And we're not going to lie. We're not going to lie for you. If you're my favorite place in Italy, I will tell people my favorite place. If you're a great place to go, I'll say that. If you suck, I'm going to say it sucks. And so brands don't really like that. Companies don't like that. I mean, we had a lot of cities in China that actually reached out to us over the years and say, hey, we want you to come and we want you to make these videos for us. I'm like, yeah, I'll come. I have no problem. I love when I taught in China. I've got a lot of Chinese students that I really care about. And I'm praying for their families too and stuff like that. And they're scared because they can't go back home, and so I'm worried about them. But I'm like, look, if I'm going to go, we do these love and hates and don'ts and shocks. And it's this kind of stuff. They're like, no, we'll tell you what to say. We'll tell you what to do. I'm like, I'm not an actor. I'm a traveler that wants to help people. And so I had to say no. And that's why you pass the money. Whereas I know some travel bloggers like, pay us $20,000 and we'll go or we'll talk or something. So we don't do that.
Okay, 3 things. Bill, go dogs. Nader made a comment that he's been following for a while, and you've been around with us for a long time. He said Liam went from a toddler with funny responses to a kid with well thought out responses. I'm going to tell him that. Thank you, Nader. That's important for him to hear. And Gui says, what's your most difficult don't in a diet? Is it beer or some type of food? I'm going to go make some tea.
Sweets. I've actually cut out a lot of my drinking and stuff like that. My buddy has too. Like my buddy who's actually losing weight. We didn't realize we were both losing weight at the same time. We were both kind of losing weight. And since we're both losing weight about the same time, same pace, we didn't, you don't notice when we were somebody so much. And we both kind of cut down our drinking a lot. But it's really been like, when I see the candies and stuff like that, it's hard. It's the sweets that get me. It's hard for me to say no. When I see that Hostess cupcake right there, how could I say no to that? It's so beautiful and tasty. I love you, Hostess. You see where I'm going? I'm like, this kind of stuff. So it is tough. But, it takes the little things. And John Anderson, Mark, you're doing the correct way to lose weight. Keep going. And that's the thing is, you when you're trying to lose weight, it's been a year of doing this. is, I was in the video I was telling you about where I'm doing a word a day. I was like, my goal is to lose, it was like 100 pounds in a year. And I got halfway there, and I'm like, that was unrealistic, but it was okay. Like I had a goal, and I'm like, you know what? You have these ups and downs. I know it was like for 3 months, I started from like 335 and I 282 this morning, and I got about 300. I got stuck. Like nothing I would do. Exercise more. It was just like you hit that plateau, and that's where a lot of people give up. You're like, oh, screw it. It doesn't matter anymore. And I got there, and it took until basically like early January till it started coming down again. And you just gotta know, so you're gonna have the hiccups. It's not gonna go down all the time. You just try to keep at it, and eventually stuff will keep going. So there's that. Oh, jump around. Clark Travis, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Several churches in my community held services last Sunday after Governor Bashir asked them not to. A visitor carrying COVID was there. Now COVID is spreading in my community. Social distance. Yeah, social distance is important. And that's the thing is, if people are telling you not to do things, you don't go. Even if it says, well, the organizer said it's okay, or they're still going to have it, it doesn't matter. You don't go. It's like the people on spring break. You shouldn't have gone. You shouldn't have gone on spring break. You should have stayed home. Stay home. That's why you've seen our things. We have these hashtags, stay home, a lot of places out there. It's really sad. And I mean, I know for a lot of people, though, that's their big social gathering, and they had thought they had to go. You got to say no.
Hey, guess what?
This isn't about you. This isn't about meeting people. This is about keeping our community safe, and that means not going to church. You don't go to church. You can watch it online. You can see. I mean, there's the TV channels that have them on there. You can watch that. That's what we have to do. And it sucks. I mean, I know, like, in a lot of people, I had to yell at my mom, like, you're not going to church this week. For last week. We both
had to yell at
and I was telling, like, look, and you need to tell your church not to have church, because, and they didn't have any cases where they're at now. And a lot of people say, oh, we don't need cases now. I'm like, you don't know. So, it's sad.
And, like, your big social gathering, missing that is you missing it once, but it may mean someone missing out on the rest of their life.
Yeah. So, enough of us on our thing. Let's see.
Was that a soapbox that we just jumped up
we
on?
Did. Let's see. Mitchell Franco, since we both studied abroad in Finland, awesome. I was in Turku. Have you ever taken the ferry to Estonia, Sweden, and St. Petersburg all on the same trip? Yes, we did that a couple years ago, actually.
That was
so
fun.
we flew in. We spent a week in Sweden with our buddy Sebastian, and then from Sweden we took the tour around. We spent a few days. You spend the day in Helsinki, 3 days in St. Petersburg. And then down to Estonia and back up to Finland. Then we spent a week in Finland, and then we went back down to Estonia and did it that way. So it was an easy way to do it. And also, for those who want to do the visa-free travel to St. Petersburg, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So, Sean O'Malley, what's your favorite public transportation to use in Europe? That would be the metro in Paris. It gets you everywhere. It's close by, easy to use. But the metro system is pretty much anywhere. I'm a big fan.
And actually what I liked was the bus system in Lisbon. It was so easy to navigate. Unlike the bus system here where we live, I can't make heads or tails of it.
Yeah.
But in Lisbon,
it's got a number, a letter,
a color, and a destination.
The destination, which is a real destination. So.
It's just the main thing along the route, I think. I mean, it's really difficult for me. But Lisbon was so easy, and I didn't even speak Portuguese at all when I moved there, and I was easy to go. So
Thomas B, the only reason I'm here is the honesty. Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's what we try to do. I appreciate that.
Paraná.
Yeah. So Nurse Dale, my wife is from Brazil, Paraná State, Umurama. We will visit this summer. Hopefully, we can get a visit this summer. My first time. We will get around. Any suggestions? Believe me, your wife's family will take care of you. You don't know. You don't even plan anything. They will do it for you, man. Like, you need to go here. You need to eat this, and you're like, I'm full. More food shoved in your mouth. No, you need more cold beer. It's winter down. And it's winter down there if you go in our summer, and so it'll be like, I don't know where you're from, but like I was down there in July in Sao Paulo, and I was wearing like jeans and a t-shirt, and I saw people like in full winter garb, like going to Antarctica stuff, and I could see people were physically upset that I didn't have any jackets on. So I actually started wearing like winter clothes, jackets and stuff like this when I went out, because they're like, for them, I mean, when it's in the 60s and 50s, it's like really cold for them, which was crazy because after my time, I came back from Brazil. And I visited my aunt in this small town in Illinois, and it was like 95 degrees, and I'm like walking around cold, like wanting a jacket, and I see this lady walking her little kid around. The kid just got a t-shirt and shorts. I'm like, what a horrible mother! It's too cold for her to be out here in these shorts and t-shirts. I mean, it was like 90. Because my body had adjusted.
90.
No, it was 91 because I remember seeing the Carnival
No
National
way.
thing. Yes, I saw it. And I'm like, oh.
Oh my gosh.
So it's funny how your body kind of adjusts to it because it was the next day too.
Jennifer says that she found us because she was planning a trip to Greece and Italy. Guess what? We were going to be in Greece and Italy this summer too. Mm-hmm. Now none of us knows.
Yeah, none of us knows. Jennifer Ralph, hey, good job. Down 20 pounds. Good to hear. Oh, Mary Ellen, I'm eating whole food, plant-based diet, no dairy, meat, or other stuff, and I'm down 35 pounds so far. Great job, Mary Ellen. And all of you trying, hey, I'm very proud of you. I know how hard it is, and I know those plateaus can really be heartbreaking, but thank you so much, everybody, for your support, and everyone's doing a great job.
Terry Finley says, by the way, Mark and Jocelyn, your boys are real troopers for your long live chats. Are y'all spending some days in social media silence for family time? So we were talking about, we haven't really this week, to be honest. And it's because it was spring break. We were just like, you know what? Everybody right now we have to get our feet under us as parents. The kids need some just time to veg out, but they're also doing a lot of stuff with their friends, like, they're video chatting and FaceTime, whatever. They're
playing some Fortnite with their buddies last night. Celine was upstairs yelling.
Oh, he's so loud when he plays. It's like he puts on headphones and you can hear
I was in the basement with Caleb, and Liam was on the second floor with his door shut, and it sounded like he was right next to us. Like, we're like, what the heck?
He's really loud. But so we are going to do like No Phone Fridays. Like there's other stuff that we're kind of trying to set out. Yesterday I sat and worked on our schedule, like just how are our days going to look. And with us, nothing is ever really set in stone, but they are troopers. To be honest, Liam is probably watching Tom and Jerry right now, and Caleb is still asleep.
Yeah. And Kian, I am so sorry I kept saying Sean, because my friends that have their kids spelled name that way, they say it's Sean. I'm like, okay, so Kian, I apologize. I suck.
Interesting. Yeah.
Bad mark.
All
so
right.
Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. Do you guys know any other language, fluent or semi-fluent? I would feel comfortable teaching in Spanish, German, and Portuguese. I could do that. A little practice. I think I'll be okay. I feel comfortable having basic social conversations in Italian. I can be a good tourist, a decent tourist in French. And then I know some words. I still remember some words in Lithuanian, but the other languages have all gone. Let's see. Anyway. All right. We've been on for 2 hours. Probably should wrap it up so we have something to talk about on Wednesday night. So for those of you that are on here, thank you so much. We're doing these every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Chicago time, and then Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Chicago time. So people can have some more positivity and happily thoughts and just talk about travel and other kind of things out there. So we can do that. And thank you to all the members on here that help out. We appreciate it. Mark and Terry, thank you so much for helping moderate. Everybody, we just want to say thank you for everything. Wish you all the best.
Rob said you guys are still here.
Yeah.
But we're not now.
Yeah, we're leaving now, Rob. Rob's been, you probably you listened to the entire podcast. If you want, we filmed a podcast last night with Trip Hacks DC and Travelman Podcast. And you can go check that out just for Travelman Podcast on YouTube or on any of your social media podcasting things. And you'll see with Rob and I on there and stuff like that. Or you'll listen to Rob and I on there, because I figured out finally how to use that mic. So thanks, Rob, for helping this old silly man that didn't know how to get the mic to work. You're a good dude. Anyway, wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Hope you all do a fantastic thing today, whatever it is you do. So thank you, everybody. And we'll talk to you later.
Be sweet.
Bye.